Minister's powerful Instagram message hails the historic passage of the anti-paper leak bill in both houses of parliament as a landmark victory in safeguarding the future of India's youth. For decades, paper leaks have plagued the nation, shattering dreams and undermining merit. Today, through relentless reforms, including task forces, fast-track mechanisms, state collaboration and cutting-edge technology, the government has delivered a robust law with stringent provisions. Crucially, the PM warned that the paper mafias and gangs playing with the destiny of the nation's children will not be spared, vowing uncompromising action against these anti-national elements. He urged every citizen to march shoulder to shoulder towards the dream of a Viksit Bharat, declaring that the fight for a transparent, reliable examination system will continue with unyielding resolve.
साथियों, विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति, इसके लिए हम लगातार एक के बाद एक कदम उठा रहे हैं। टास्क फोर्स की रचना हो, फास्ट ट्रैक की और रचना हो, राज्यों के सुझावों को ध्यान में लेना हो, क्योंकि पिछले कई दशकों से हर राज्य और केंद्र सरकार इस प्रकार की पेपर लीक की परेशानी झेल रहा है। बच्चों के भविष्य को भी इसके कारण संकट पैदा हो रहा है। इन सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए देशव्यापी सभी राज्यों में भी और केंद्र में भी शिक्षा पद्धति में सुधार अनिवार्य हो गया है। टेक्नोलॉजी के भरपूर उपयोग की आवश्यकता हो गई है और साथ साथ फिर से कोई पेपर माफिया, पेपर लीक करने वाली गैंग, देश के बच्चों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाली गैंग, उनको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। इसलिए कठोर कानूनों की भी जरूरत है। हम संसद में बिल लेकर के गए थे और जैसा मैंने आपको वादा किया था, गत 2 दिन संसद के दोनों सदनों ने, अधिकतम माननीय सांसदों ने विस्तार पूर्वक उससे चर्चा की है और आज दोनों सदनों ने इस कठोर कानूनों वाले, प्रावधानों वाले इस बिल को पास कर दिया है। अब विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति की दिशा में जाने में एक महत्वपूर्ण काम पूर्ण हुआ है। काम आगे भी चलता रहेगा। हम ऐसी परिस्थितियों को लंबे समय तक नहीं चलने देंगे। इस विश्वास के साथ साथियों, आइए हम सब मिल करके विकसित भारत के स्वप्न को पूर्ण करने के लिए कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर के चलें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
All right, breaking news. Deposed Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is likely to be arrested instantly on her return from India before getting opportunities to surrender directly to a court. Now, Law Minister M. Asad Usman said on Thursday. His comments came a day after Hasina told a news agency that she was determined to return to her country by December, despite fearing for her life. Earlier this month, there were more interviews of her that suggested she was discussing with her party colleagues her possible return to Bangladesh by the end of this year. All right, another breaking news coming in. A 4-story building has collapsed in Thane's Bhiwandi area. 2 bodies have been recovered from the debris and at least 10 people are stranded under the debris. The municipal corporation had previously vacated this building after declaring it dangerous. According to MLA Mahesh Chogule, the collapse occurred due to ongoing repair work on the ground floor and it is feared that 6 to 11 people are trapped inside. MLA Mahesh Chogule stated that teams from the NDRF, the Fire Brigade and the TDRF are currently conducting rescue operations at the site. Now, we are closely following this building collapse. Now, remember, this is not the first time that we've seen a building collapse in areas like Thane. We've continuously seen incidents like this where buildings have collapsed due to wrong construction quality or, due to other issues. Unfortunately, the collapse has resulted in loss of life. And as we are breaking this news for you, the teams are currently working and conducting continuous rescue operations at the site. The death. Now, violent clash has erupted in Uttar Pradesh, Deora, over the removal of B.R. Ambedkar's statue. According to the administration, the statue had been installed on the government land, but the village remains under heavy security deployment, involving forces from 6 different police stations to sustain law and order. More in this report.
A dispute over the removal of an Ambedkar statue triggered violent clashes in Uttar Pradesh's Deoria district. The incident left several police personnel with minor injuries.
कुछ लोग द्वारा अवैध तरीके से विदाउट परमिशन सरकारी खलिहान का भूमि पर एक अंबेडकर जी का मूर्ति रखने का मामला सामने आया। इस सूचना पर प्रशासन और पुलिस का संयुक्त टीम मौके पर पहुंचकर आवश्यक विधिक कार्रवाई किया जा रहा था और जो लोग रखवाया था उनके साथ संवाद बनाया जा रहा था। संवाद के क्रम पे जिनके द्वारा मूर्ति रखाया गया उनके द्वारा सम्मानित तरीके से अंबेडकर जी का मूर्ति वहीं से हटाने के लिए तैयार हो गया। मूर्ति हटाते वक्त वहीं पर मौजूद कुछ अराजक तत्व द्वारा उनके ऊपर हमला किया गया था। ईंट और पत्थर से किया गया ये हमले पर मौके पर मौजूद प्रशासन का और पुलिस का कर्मचारीगण को भी चोट आया है। सबका सुरक्षार्थ पुलिस द्वारा आवश्यक विधिक कार्रवाई किया गया है।
According to officials, the statue was allegedly installed on government land in Lavkani village without administrative permission. The administration had asked villagers to remove the statue, following which tensions began to build in the area. The situation escalated as villagers pelted stones at police and revenue officials during an attempt to resolve the issue. Police dispersed the crowd and brought the situation under control after the confrontation. Several people have been detained in connection with the violence. Following the clash, heavy police deployment has been made in the village to prevent any further escalation.
All right, let's move to our next segment, which is the business wrap. Now, India's ethanol blending program may be reducing dependence on imported fossil fuels, but experts are warning of a new challenge: water stress. Increased cultivation of water-intensive crops such as maize, rice and sugarcane to meet the ethanol demand could strain groundwater resources. Now, maize production alone has jumped over 63% since 2021-22, with experts noting that producing 1 ton of maize requires nearly 3,000 litres of water. The Indian rupee extended its winning streak for a 5th consecutive session, closing 9 paise stronger at 95.67 against the US dollar. The currency drew support from strong domestic equity markets, foreign capital inflows and a softer dollar. However, gains remained capped due to volatile crude oil prices amid the escalating conflict in West Asia, with forex traders continue to monitor developments closely. Now, more than 5 months after the launch of the PM Rahat cashless treatment scheme for road accident victims, only 62% of claims have been settled, according to government data. Of over 12,700 claims initiated, around 7,900 have been cleared, with payouts totaling just rupees 10.1 crore. Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh account for nearly 2/3 of all claims and the bulk of the disbursed amount, highlighting uneven implementation of the scheme across states. Auto stocks surged yesterday, with the Nifty Auto Index climbing nearly 1.8% after Mahindra & Mahindra posted stronger than expected first quarter earnings. The SUV maker reported a 7% rise in standalone net profit to Rs 3,685 crore, driven by robust demand for its Scorpio and Thar models. Revenue rose 2.3% despite higher vehicle prices, signaling that consumer demand has remained resilient. The rally also comes ahead of Hyundai Motor India's quarterly results. Now, India's javelin charge is alive and kicking at the Commonwealth Games 2026 as Neeraj Chopra has qualified for the men's javelin final, keeping his medal hopes alive in Glasgow. And it's a triple boost for India as Rohit Yadav and Yashveer Singh have also made the cut, putting 3 Indians into the final and setting up a massive medal opportunity.
Neeraj Chopra is through to the Commonwealth Games javelin final, keeping India's hopes of another gold alive in Glasgow. The Indian javelin star registered a best throw of 79.61 meters in qualification to comfortably make the cut for the medal round. But Neeraj Chopra won't be India's only contender in the final. 2 more Indian throwers have also booked their spots. Rohit Yadav qualified with a best effort of 78.37 meters. And Yashveer Singh completed India's javelin triple, producing 78.36 meters on his final attempt to make the cut. Neeraj finished 5th overall in qualification. With the qualification round now behind him, the focus shifts entirely to the medal battle. The Olympic champion has been one of India's biggest medal hopes in Glasgow and will now look to step up when the medals are on the line. Rohit Yadav and Yashveer Singh will also be looking to challenge the field, making the final a 3-pronged Indian attack. Neeraj Chopra, Rohit Yadav and Yashveer Singh, 3 Indians through, 3 medal hopes, and all eyes now on the Commonwealth Games javelin final.
All right, let's look at events across India. Now, a 24-year-old man has been booked under rape and POSCO charges in Uttar Pradesh, Mathura, for allegedly sexually exploiting a 10-year-old girl. The accused, identified as Haridas from West Bengal's North 24 Parganas, reportedly owned the house where the victim's family lived as tenants. Police said evidence has been collected and a case has been registered and further investigation is underway, with authorities promising strict legal action against the accused. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis launched the Drug-Free Mumbai campaign as the NSCI dome in Worli, unveiling an ambitious drive to curb drug abuse among students. The campaign aims to make Mumbai drug-free within the next 2 to 4 years, with a strong focus on rehabilitation and reintegrating addicted youth into society. Schools, colleges, councillors, parents and social organizations will work together under this initiative to spread awareness and strengthen the fight against substance abuse. Power supply has finally been restored across Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district after several flooding damaged transmission infrastructure and disrupted electricity for several days. The Power Development Department installed an emergency restoration system after extensive repair work, bringing relief to thousands of residents. Civil society members have thanked the department for working in difficult weather conditions and in restoring normalcy, especially benefiting students and residential services. Political tensions have intensified in West Bengal's Jagalpuri after a no-confidence motion led to the removal of the municipality's vice chairman. Egg attack was reported at Jabalpuri municipal chairman's office. Allegations of administrative failure, building plan violations and poor civic services sparked fresh controversy. Opposition leaders have accused the civic body of misgovernance, while legal action is also being pursued over alleged misconduct. A scheduled municipal meeting was cancelled among the unrest. Now, a massive overnight Russian assault has hit Ukraine, with the western city of Lviv among the worst affected. A cruise missile attack struck residential buildings in the city, injuring at least 34 people, including 3 children. Rescue teams are searching through the rubble as Ukraine says Russia launched more than 70 missiles and over 280 attack drones across at least 10 regions.
A devastating overnight attack on Ukraine with a cruise missile tearing through residential areas of the western city of Lviv. At least 34 people have been injured, including 3 children aged 6, 13 and 15. Residential buildings were badly damaged, with floors collapsing after the strike and rescue teams using specialized equipment to reach those trapped inside. At least 39 people have been rescued while emergency crews continue searching through the rubble for anyone still trapped.
4:45, атака ракет на Львів, Патона 25, зруйнований будинок, триває операція порятунку людей, то саме вулиця Виговського, пряме влучення ракети в будинок. Станом на сьогодні 23 людей отримали медичну допомогу, 13 з них знаходяться в лікарні, 1 людина в важкому стані, 2 людей пропали безвісті, вважаються такими, що ми їх зараз шукаємо. Будемо молитися, щоб все було гаразд. Якщо оцінити масштаб цієї катастрофи, то, щоб ви розуміли, 21 будинок зазнав ушкоджень.
Those were the mayor's initial figures. Authorities later raised the number of injured to 34 as rescue operations continued. A police officer and a rescuer are also among those injured in the attack. Residents described the chaos in an immediate aftermath, with families desperately trying to locate relatives from the worst-hit buildings.
Ви знаєте, я почуваюся відносно добре, як можна так сказати, що тут не є добре. Але сусіди, які жили на 4-му, 5-му поверхах, не знаю, бо дехто шукає свого сина, який там був на 5-му поверсі. Кажуть, що, можливо, навіть трагічно щось закінчилося. А я ще просто, зрозуміти, я не розумію, що воно таке є зараз. Я в якомусь стресі, де не розумію, що і як.
And Lviv was only one part of a much wider overnight assault across Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky says at least 10 regions were targeted, with homes, businesses and infrastructure damaged or destroyed. According to Zelensky, Russia launched more than 70 missiles, many of them ballistic, along with over 280 attack drones. Ukraine says more than 260 of those drones were intercepted, but several strikes still broke through, leaving destruction across the country. In Lviv, the focus now remains on the rescue operations, searching the rubble, treating the injured and assessing the scale of the overnight attack.
All right, we'll pause for a short break now, and coming after the break, the PM says technology, stronger laws to be implemented for better transparency in public examinations.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा सिम MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिम
जीरा सिम असली रिफ्रेशिंग असली स्वाद असली मजा
MDH
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे, कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष की विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
प्रश्न है कि खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ। खंड 2 से 5 विधेयकांग बना। प्रश्न ये कि खंड 1 अधिनियम सूत्र और विधेयक का पूरा नाम विधेयकांग बने, जो सदस्य के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ।
जिन लोगों ने विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ किया, वे जेलों में सड़ रहे हैं। हमने मास्टर कोर्ट बना।
अध्यक्ष जी, जहां पर कांग्रेस शासित यूपीए ने पॉलिसी वैक्यूम करा, वहीं पर अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say मोदी जी clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
जेनजी की भाषा में मैं, अरे सुनो यार, सुनने की आदत रखो। जेनजी की भाषा में विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये
इस कठोर कानूनों वाले, प्रावधानों वाले इस बिल को पास कर दिया है। अब विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति की दिशा में जाने में एक महत्वपूर्ण काम पूर्ण हुआ है।
PM Modi releases 4th video message for students, congratulates them on the exam bill clearing parliament.
और साथ साथ फिर से कोई पेपर माफिया, पेपर लीक करने वाली गैंग, देश के बच्चों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाली गैंग, उनको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
PM Modi warns the exam syndicate, promises strict action against those playing with students' future.
को ध्यान में रखते हुए देशव्यापी सभी राज्यों में भी और केंद्र में भी शिक्षा पद्धति में सुधार अनिवार्य हो गया है। टेक्नोलॉजी के भरपूर उपयोग की आवश्यकता हो गई है।
PM says technology and stronger laws to be implemented for better transparency in public examinations.
Sir, I rise to move that the bill be passed.
Motion is moved that the bill be passed. The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The bill is passed.
Anti-exam leak bill and Vande Mataram bill passed in both houses of parliament after a marathon debate. PM chairs 4th Cabinet Committee on Security to review the evolving situation of the West Asia conflict. Delhi court to deliver the sentence for Tahir Hussain and 4 other convicts in Northeast Delhi riots case dating back to 2020. India bags 2 more medals in Commonwealth Games as Lovepreet Singh secures a silver while Seema Kalibrama claims a bronze. And breaking news now, major escalation is unfolding in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as ongoing demonstrations reach a boiling point. Now, in a significant shift in the movement scale, women protesters have joined the front line in large numbers, marching through the Kotli region to raise slogans against the brutal massacre carried out by the Pakistani army. Outraged by the response, protesters have openly accused the Pakistani forces of state terrorism amid systemic repression. The mobilization of women in Kotli highlights deepening public resentment against military authority and signals a sharp intensification of the civil unrest in the region. Now, clashes broke out between Pakistani security forces and local residents at Abshar Chowk in Kotli. Following the clashes, Pakistani security forces opened direct fire on the residents in the area. Now, this follows a massive uprising across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where peaceful, unarmed protesters who are marching to Muzaffarabad are being fired upon by the Pakistani army forces. Over 40 people have been killed by Asim Munir's forces across PoK in the last 5 days, as the brutal crackdown continues across the region. Now, two major legislations have cleared Parliament in the monsoon session, with both the Vande Mataram Bill and the Anti-Paper Leak Bill receiving approval from both houses. The Vande Mataram Bill seeks to grant the national song legal protection on par with the national anthem, making any insult or obstruction of its singing a punishable offence. Meanwhile, the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill introduces stricter penalties, time-bound investigations and fast-track courts to crack down on paper leaks and examination fraud. More in this report for you.
Two key bills have been cleared in the ongoing monsoon session. Vande Mataram Bill and the Anti-Paper Leak Bill have been passed in both the houses of the Parliament. The government asserted that the Prevention of Insults to National Honour Amendment Bill 2026 will grant status to Vande Mataram on par with the national anthem. The bill seeks to make any insult to Vande Mataram a criminal offence. Meanwhile, amid opposition walkout, Rajya Sabha also passes the Public Examinations Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026. The bill proposes the stricter penalties, time-bound investigations and special fast-track courts to curb cheating and paper leaks in public examinations. Both the bills were passed amid the intense sloganeering and the chaos by the opposition.
Critiquing the government, I have earned the right to say my next sentence with full conviction and sincerity कि जब बात students की आई, when it came to our students and the youth of India, the government heard, the government actioned and the government delivered.
Leader of the opposition and Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge issued a threatening remark against Home Minister Amit Shah. Kharge during his speech said that Amit Shah should be dragged from wherever he is hiding.
इसका जिम्मेदार कौन है? इसका जिम्मेदार आप है, होम मिनिस्टर है। आप बंद कमरे में रह के आप सुन रहे होंगे मेरी बात, लेकिन आप बंद कमरे में रह के बहुत दिन छुप नहीं सकते। एक दिन हम बाहर खींच के लाएंगे और जनता के सामने हम दिखाएंगे इनके दिलों में क्या है।
Meanwhile, JP Nadda attacked the Indie bloc for the walkout from the Rajya Sabha, alleging that it was irresponsible and that the opposition has no respect for parliamentary democracy.
आज लगभग 8 घंटे चर्चा चली है। हर एक सदस्य को पूरा बोलने का अधिकार दिया गया। सत्ता पक्ष ने सारे विषयों को बहुत संवेदना के साथ सुना और उसके साथ साथ अभी जब मंत्री जी जवाब देने के लिए खड़े हुए तो गैर जिम्मेदाराना व्यवहार विपक्ष का रहा है, जो वॉकआउट करके जा रहा है, गैर जिम्मेदाराना। और इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि इनको चर्चा में कोई दिलचस्पी नहीं है। They have got no respect for democracy. They have got no respect for parliamentary procedures.
Amid constant sloganeering and disruption, the passage of the two bills marks another significant legislative milestone in the ongoing monsoon session.
Now, breaking news again, a 4-story building has collapsed in Thane's Bhiwandi area. 4 bodies have been recovered from debris. At least 10 people are stranded under the debris. And the municipal corporation had previously vacated this building after declaring it dangerous. According to the MLA Mahesh Shogale, the collapse occurred due to ongoing repair work on the ground floor. It is feared that 6 to 7 people are trapped inside. And the MLA stated that teams from the NDRF, the fire brigade and the TDRF are currently conducting rescue operations at the site.
मम्मी और मेरे पापा बाहर निकले और मैं उसमें फंस चुकी थी, मैं उसमें पूरी दब चुकी थी। फिर भी मैंने कोशिश किया, वहाँ की पूरी पानी, वहाँ की पूरी मिट्टी मुझको पूरे दबा चुकी थी। मैंने मतलब मैं वहाँ पे खो चुकी थी एक तरह से। फिर मैंने कोशिश नहीं हारा, फिर भी वहाँ से मैं निकलने की पूरी तरह से कोशिश की। मैं अपनी मम्मी अपने पापा को दोनों को आवाज लगाई, तो भी मम्मी पापा तक आवाज बिल्कुल भी नहीं गई। मम्मी पापा भी मुझे आवाज लगा रहे थे, तो भी मम्मी पापा का भी आवाज नहीं आ रहा था, ना मेरा आवाज आ रहा था। फिर भी मैंने कोशिश नहीं हारा। वहां से मैंने बहुत कोशिश की, बहुत जी जान लगाई जहां से मैं बाहर निकली, बट वहां पूरी तरीके से फंस चुकी थी। और मतलब ये वर्कर्स जो थे ये काम सही तरीके से नहीं किए, नहीं तो आज वो सही तरीके से किया होता तो आज ये हादसा नहीं होता।
वो सामने मेरे भैया है, उसने बोला कि आप मेरे रूम में आ जाओ, ये बिल्डिंग कभी भी गिर सकती है, अभी टूटने वाली है। 4 लोग, 2 बेटी और एक मेरा हस्बैंड और मैं, खाली हम लोग निकल पाए बाहर बस।
All right, and we have Revati joining us from Mumbai with more updates on this. Revati, what's happening on the ground? I mean, we understand that the rescue operations are underway. Do we have a concrete number in terms of how many rescued and how many still trapped under the debris?
Right. So, as you rightly mentioned, that a major incident has happened in Thane's Bhiwandi area, where Kohinoor apartment, a 4-story building, has collapsed, and the repairing works was underway. Also, the Thane Municipal Corporation had declared it as the dangerous building or a dangerous site, and the repairing work of the same was underway. The building was vacated, so a major mishap was averted where residents weren't trapped. But yes, the workers which were doing the repairing works were trapped under this particular debris after it collapsed at around 11:30 a.m. The rescue operation, 11:30 p.m. The rescue operation began at 1 a.m. and still the rescue operation is underway. Komal Gupta is a victim of the same, but she somehow managed to rescue because she was standing aside the building. And the most important thing is here that now the recovered body from the site is now the count has now gone up to 4. So as of now, it is said that more people are feared stranded under the debris. So now the rescue operation is underway by the NDRF and the TDRF and the fire brigade of the Thane Municipal Corporation. So as the operation goes on, we'll get updates about the exact number of the people stranded under the debris. Over to you.
All right, we'll pause for a short break now, and coming up after the break, the PM says technology, stronger laws to be leveraged for better transparency in public examinations.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit. Yeah, I think more so that, yeah, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 8,000 mile-an-hour missiles at us. And fortunately, we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the...
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और बरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
ऑक्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग 4 लोगों के पास है।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the 3 categories. Student,
Now, massive overnight Russian assault has hit Ukraine, with the western city of Lviv among the worst affected. A cruise missile struck residential buildings in the city, injuring at least 34 people, including 3 children. Rescue teams are searching through the rubble as Ukraine says Russia launched more than 70 missiles and over 280 attack drones across at least 10 regions across Ukraine.
A devastating overnight attack on Ukraine with a cruise missile tearing through residential areas of the western city of Lviv. At least 34 people have been injured, including 3 children aged 6, 13 and 15. Residential buildings were badly damaged, with floors collapsing after the strike and rescue teams using specialized equipment to reach those trapped inside. At least 39 people have been rescued while emergency crews continue searching through the rubble for anyone still trapped.
4:45, атака ракет на Львів, Патона 25, зруйнований будинок, триває операція порятунку людей. То саме вулиця Виговського, пряме влучення ракети в будинок. Станом на сьогодні 23 людей отримали медичну допомогу, 13 з них знаходяться в лікарні, 1 людина в важкому стані, 2 людей пропали безвісті, вважаються такими, що ми їх зараз шукаємо. Будемо молитися, щоб все було гаразд. Якщо оцінити масштаб цієї катастрофи, то, щоб ви розуміли, 21 будинок зазнав ушкоджень.
Those were the mayor's initial figures. Authorities later raised the number of injured to 34 as rescue operations continued. A police officer and a rescuer are also among those injured in the attack. Residents described the chaos in an immediate aftermath, with families desperately trying to locate relatives from the worst-hit buildings.
Ви знаєте, я почуваюся відносно добре, як можна так сказати, що тут не є добре. Але сусіди, які жили на 4-му, 5-му поверхах, не знаю, бо дехто шукає свого сина, який там був на 5-му поверсі. Кажуть, що, можливо, навіть трагічно щось закінчилося. А я ще просто, зрозумієте, я не розумію, що воно таке є зараз. Я в якомусь стресі, де не розумію, що і як.
And Lviv was only one part of a much wider overnight assault across Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky says at least 10 regions were targeted, with homes, businesses and infrastructure damaged or destroyed. According to Zelensky, Russia launched more than 70 missiles, many of them ballistic, along with over 280 attack drones. Ukraine says more than 260 of those drones were intercepted, but several strikes still broke through, leaving destruction across the country. In Lviv, the focus now remains on the rescue operations, searching the rubble, treating the injured and assessing the scale of the overnight attack.
Now, Britain once lectured the world on political stability. Today, it is struggling to hold on to its own. Andy Burnham has become the United Kingdom's 7th Prime Minister in just over a decade. A staggering turnover for one of the world's oldest parliamentary democracies. From Brexit to economic shocks, scandals to party rebellions, Westminster has become a revolving door. Now, the question now is no longer who becomes the Prime Minister, but how long can they survive? Take a look.
Britain has a new Prime Minister again. Andy Burnham becomes the 7th British Prime Minister since 2016. A remarkable turnover for a country that once symboled political stability at its core. Between 1945 and 2010, UK saw just 12 Prime Ministers over 65 years. The political instability began with Brexit, a referendum that not only divided Britain but also triggered a leadership crisis. Since then, almost every Prime Minister has either resigned under pressure, been forced out by their own party, or lost office after political or economic turmoil. David Cameron fell after Brexit. Theresa May failed to deliver a Brexit deal. Boris Johnson was consumed by Partygate. Additionally, Liz Truss crashed the economy in just 49 days. Rishi Sunak lost a historic election. And finally, Starmer stepped down after internal rebellion and electoral setbacks. Behind the revolving door lies a deeper crisis, a slowing economy. UK is currently facing rising cost of living, immigration pressures, overstretched public services, energy insecurity, and growing public distrust in the mainstream politics. These are structural challenges, but are they enough to explain 7 prime ministers in a decade? Or has Westminster become trapped in a cycle where leaders are replaced faster than problems can be solved? Ironically, Britain has often looked down upon the political volatility of developing democracies, including India. Yet, while London battles leadership instability, New Delhi has witnessed continuity at the highest political office for over a decade. The question confronting Britain is no longer simply who occupies 10 Downing Street, but whether any leader can survive long enough to restore public's confidence in the government. For now, Andy Burnham inherits not just the office of Prime Minister, but the daunting task of stabilizing a nation where governments change faster than the crisis they promise to fix.
Now, a major turning point in France's battle against the massive Giron wildfire. After more than 220,000 people were forced from their homes, authorities have now allowed another 84,000 evacuees to return as cooler temperatures, higher humidity and light rain help firefighters contain the flames. But the danger is far from over as crews are deliberately burning sections of the forest to deprive the wildfire of fuel and protect communities along France's Atlantic coast.
A battle against a monster wildfire fighters still on the front lines in southwest France after flames tore through forests west of Bordeaux. But after days of evacuations and destruction, there are finally signs that crews may be turning the tide. Authorities have allowed another 84,000 people to return to their homes across 9 evacuated areas. More than 220,000 people were forced to flee since the fire erupted last week. Nearly 2/3 have now been cleared to return. Cooler temperatures, higher humidity, and light rain are helping, but firefighters aren't taking any chances. Crews are setting controlled burns, deliberately clearing vegetation before the main fire can reach it.
It's Thursday morning here in the Cap, and firefighters are setting controlled burns, and they're doing their best effort to take away fuel from the forest floor to keep the fire from attacking areas of importance. And they walk through the forest with a combustible liquid, spraying it on the forest floor to ignite small flames, stuff that they can handle. If it grows, this is the type of fires they want to slowly burn and to burn off all the fuel to help keep the larger areas safe. And you see behind me the smoke and the slow burning flames in the forest floor.
All right, time for a short break, and coming up after the break, India's medal tally in the Commonwealth Games 2026 rises to 17 as Lovepreet Singh led the medal charge by winning silver in the men's 110 kg weightlifting event. This is while Seema Kalirama claimed bronze in the women's discus throw.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
I wake up wearing someone else again. Skin tight like porcelain. I don't recognize these eyes. Something scratching from inside. Don't let it slip. I'm losing control. I don't wanna be safe.
finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा सिम MDH का जल जीरा जीरा सिम
जीरा सिम असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा.
MDH.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized. But, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Viewers getting the first breaking at this hour. This is coming in from Meta India Head. Well, when the Meta India Head and 20 other Instagram influencers have been arrested and they've been booked. In fact, they've been registered with 2 cases. 2 cases have been registered against the Meta Head and 20 other Instagram users as a co-accused in the Hyderabad Cybercrime Department over several obscene photos and videos which were circulated online of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, the backdrop of this whole controversy is the CJP NEET protest, where these obscene Facebook and Instagram videos were shared by several accounts, following which a social media core committee member of the Bharatiya Janata Party has filed a complaint with the cybercrime. Now, cybercrime has now lodged a complaint, has been lodged for a complaint on the heads of Meta India and 20 other Instagram users. Now, responding to the complaint, the Cybercrime Department has named the Meta India head along with the social media users as co-accused because of these obscene and absolutely filthy videos that circulated online on Facebook and Instagram. Now, the police has said that the efforts are being made to identify the people behind the accused, and there is a further investigation that is being underway. Morphed videos, fake videos by PMs on PM's name have been complained and circulated. I have my colleague Aishwarya joining us right now from Hyderabad, and also Nitin, who's one of our reporters, joining us from the newsroom. My first question is for you, Aishwarya. What are the details that you have for us? This is a developing story. What is it that you understand so far?
Well, yesterday, one of the social media co-committee member from the Bharatiya Janata Party on a crackdown that they were trying to do, where obscene and mock videos of Prime Minister Narendra Modi were being widely circulated after the CJP and NEET protest, of course. And that is when they have identified 20 such accounts where there were several obscene and very objectionable kind of content and that was being circulated, and they have identified these links to these particular videos, and they have forwarded and to the cybercrime, and they have registered a complaint, following which the cybercrime immediately responded to their complaint and also named the 20 account holders as well as Meta India head as a co-accused in this particular case. That is what we are learning right now. And what the cybercrime police are also telling us is that they're trying to identify who the actual people behind these accounts are, because as we know, there are several social media accounts that were formed during this entire protest, where there are several videos of mockery videos such as objectionable videos that were being circulated against Prime Minister Narendra Modi especially, and they're trying to identify the exact person behind running that particular account, because there are several videos that accounts that were formed by one particular person, or even there is no identification of the account of who is running that particular account. There are several cases such like that. So they are trying to identify the particular person who is behind that account, and 20 accounts so far has been identified. Apart from that, Meta India head has also been booked as a co-accused, where he's also been mentioned in the FIR, saying that he's also responsible behind these obscene videos that were being circulated. And 2 cases have been booked by Hyderabad cybercrime so far, and more investigation is currently underway, is what the police have also confirmed to us.
Right, Aishwarya, stay with us. I'm going to connect with my colleague Nitin. Nitin, what are the details that you have for us?
Right, so I was able to speak to the Union Commerce Minister yesterday, Piyush Goyal, and he also mentioned, basis whatever he told me, he's expecting appropriate, strict, stern action to be taken against Meta. Now, it's just not linked to the fake propaganda basis of these accounts that they're trying to promote, fake morphed videos of Prime Minister Modi, but it's also linked to the restricted PM Modi's first Instagram selfie video that was posted on Meta's Facebook platform as well. So the central government is extremely serious about it, and also in the backdrop, this also comes in the backdrop of Meta being under hot soup in the state of Tennessee in America already over child mental harm, and it's also paid a big fine, a very hefty fine in New Mexico, over $375 million. So what we are expecting here is a similar case. It could possibly lead to a hefty fine paid by Meta, but more on the other hand, the Meta India head, who's been booked under this case by the Hyderabad police. I think the larger picture here is that the Meta India head is truly accountable, and they cannot come as simple as an explanation that it was an error on their part. Back to you.
Right, Nitin. Thank you so much for giving us those details. In fact, it is a fact. You can't just brush away things under a carpet and act like nothing happened. We will be continuing to track these stories. Thank you so much, Nitin and Aishwarya, for joining us and giving us these detailed insights. Shifting our focus to another breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. 2 men are being arrested for allegedly assaulting a government official on duty for conducting SIR of electoral rolls. Now, this is a big breaking news coming in from Hyderabad, where this incident has taken place around 1:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. Now, this is in Roshan Nagar in the DJ Halli police station limits. Now, there was an official and the SIR official, along with the superintendent, who were carrying out these SIR exercises, when one of the 2 accused came and asked for a form. And when they were denied to give the form, then the reason they were denied because they were not currently of the same area. They had shifted and transferred to another place, and they were denied to give the SIR form. They started to beat away the SIR and the superintendent, in fact. Now, these 2 officials were assaulted, and these 2 people who created the ruckus are now being arrested. This is the breaking news coming in of the hour. I have my colleague Abhishek joining us live from Bengaluru right now. Abhishek, now clearly these were 2 miscreants who were trying to create some kind of chaos, and one of them actually raised a hand on an official who was on duty. What are the details that you have for us?
Well, it was Fakirappa who works with the Slum Development Board, who was transporter, who was taking up the job of special intensive revision in Roshan Nagar of DJ Halli police station limits, when Yarab and Dastagir and 2 more persons who were present at that particular spot wanted to collect an SIR form from Fakirappa. And after getting to know that a person among them had shifted his residence, Fakirappa had mentioned the fact that the form will not be able to hand it over at this point of time because of the change in the address, and a new form will be delivered to the person or handed over to the person in the new area where he has shifted. And after listening to this, two each Yarab and another Dastagir, along with two more persons, punched Fakirappa on face, who was duly exercising his duty towards a special intensive revision. As soon as the team informed the DJ Halli police, these two persons have already been taken into custody and they've been sent to the judicial custody as of now, and two are on the run now, and the police have already started a search operation to get all these two persons who are already on the run to make sure that they are going behind the bars.
Right. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for giving us those details that they are currently on the run and they have not been arrested so far. But thank you, and please continue tracking this story for us. Shifting our focus to another story, which is a breaking news, and it's coming from Thane in Maharashtra. This is the Bhavandi area where a 4-story building has collapsed. And this 4-story building was actually under renovation when it collapsed. Now, what we're getting to know so far is that approximately 6 to 7 people are currently stranded and under debris, while this was the building which was undergoing repair works, suddenly collapsed in the middle of the night. And the municipal corporation has previously asked the people to vacate the building because it was declared as dangerous for inhabitation. But according to the local MLA, the collapse occurred when the ongoing repair work was happening. So while the repair work was on, the building collapsed, and currently what we know is approximately 6 to 7 people are currently stuck under the debris. One person has been reported dead. Let's listen into what the people or the survivors from the site have to say on this.
मम्मी और मेरे पापा बाहर निकले और मैं उसमें फंस चुकी थी, मैं उसमें पूरी दब चुकी थी। फिर भी मैंने कोशिश किया, वहाँ की पूरी पानी, वहाँ की पूरी मिट्टी मुझको पूरे दबा चुकी थी। मैं वहाँ पे मैं खो चुकी थी एक तरह से। फिर मैंने कोशिश नहीं हारा, फिर भी वहाँ से मैं निकलने की पूरी तरह से कोशिश की। मैं अपनी मम्मी अपने पापा को दोनों को आवाज लगाई, तो भी मम्मी पापा तक आवाज बिल्कुल भी नहीं गई। मम्मी पापा भी मुझे आवाज लगा रहे थे, तो भी मम्मी पापा का भी आवाज नहीं आ रहा था, ना मेरा आवाज आ रहा था। फिर भी मैंने कोशिश नहीं हारा। वहां से मैंने बहुत कोशिश की, बहुत जी जान लगाई जहां से मैं बाहर निकली, बट वहां पूरी तरीके से फंस चुकी थी। और मतलब ये वर्कर्स जो थे ये काम सही तरीके से नहीं किए, नहीं तो आज वो सही तरीके से किया होता तो आज ये हादसा नहीं होता।
वो सामने मेरे भैया है, उसने बोला कि आप मेरे रूम में आ जाओ, ये बिल्डिंग कभी भी गिर सकती है, अभी टूटने वाली है। 4 लोग, 2 बेटी और एक मेरा हस्बैंड और मैं, खाली हम लोग निकल पाए बाहर बस।
Well, these were survivors who tried to make it out from the collapsed building. But shifting our focus to another breaking news, this is coming in from the Pakistani-occupied Kashmir, where major escalation is already unfolding as the ongoing demonstrations have reached a boiling point. Now, this is a breaking news coming in from Kotli, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where demonstrations have definitely reached a boiling point. Now, the significant shift in the movement scale, women protesters have also joined the front line in the large numbers. So there's a long march that's going on from Rawalakot to Muzaffarabad, and now the women protesters have also taken on the front foot. They are marching through the Kotli region, raising slogans against the brutal massacre carried out by the Pakistani army. What we're also getting to know is that the response that these protesters are openly getting are repression and systematic repression from the Pakistani forces, as they are a state of terrorism. In fact, the mobilization of women in Kotli highlights the deepening public resentment against the military authority, and these women have taken up now on the front lines in the march, raising slogans, walking past the hurdles on their way and making their way all the way to Muzaffarabad. All right, viewers, these are visuals of women who have now taken on the front lines in the Muzaffarabad Chalo Long March. These are visuals on your television screen where Pakistani women of the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir have now taken center stage. They are marching through the Kotli region and heading all the way to Muzaffarabad. Getting another breaking news of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Clashes have broken out between the Pakistani security forces and the local residents in Abshar Chowk in Kotli. Now, more breaking news coming from the long march to Muzaffarabad, Now, these are the clashes where the Pakistani security forces are opening direct fire at these protesters and civilians. They are not sparing anybody who's coming in their way, and this is coming in the massive uprising that is seen across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where the peaceful, unarmed protesters who are marching to Muzaffarabad are being fired upon by the Pakistani army and the Pakistani forces, the Pakistani Rangers. They are not sparing the civilians. They've opened fire on civilians in the Kotli area, and also, so far, unfortunately, 40 people have been reported that they have died or killed by the Asim Munir forces across PoK in the last 5 days as the brutal crackdown continues across the region. Viewers, more breaking news from the long Muzaffarabad Chalo march, where the Pakistani protester of the JAAC, Sardar Aman Khan, has rejected claims that the protesters are armed. So on one side, where the Asim Munir forces, Pakistani forces are claiming that these protesters are carrying arms and ammunitions with them, it is the Sardar Aman Khan from the JAAC who is rejecting the claims that the protesters are armed. He's also stating that the armed individuals on the building actually belong to the Pakistani forces and not the protesters. Now, he's challenged the authorities to allow international media to access Rawalakot so the world can actually see the truth. As you know, viewers, that there has been an internet ban. There is no media access. They are not allowed to go and be a part of, the media is not, the international media or any media is being allowed to go and be a part of this protest. So clearly, this is a one-sided communication coming from the Asim Munir forces, claiming that Sardar Aman Khan and all of the others from the JAC are actually carrying arms and ammunitions. Let's listen in.
मैं उस बयान की मजम्मत करता हूं कि रावलाकोट के अंदर मौजूद निहत्ते ये मुजाहिरीन जो आप इस कैमरे की आंख से देख सकते हैं, जो कि मुकम्मल निहत्ते खड़े हैं, जिनके लिए ये कहा गया है कि वो शहर में इमारतों पर चढ़ के मुसल्लह अफराद चढ़े हुए हैं। बिल्कुल शहर की इमारतों पर मुसल्लह अफराद हैं, लेकिन वो रेंजर्स के अफराद हैं, वो पुलिस के अफसरात हैं, वो FC के अफसरात हैं, वो मुख्तलिफ सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस के एहलकार हैं जो शहर के ऊपर खड़े हैं और वहाँ से निहत्ते शहरियों को टारगेट करते हैं, उन्हें जो है निशाना बनाते हैं। मैं इस मौका पर ये गुजारिश करना चाहता हूं कि अगर किसी को ये लगता है कि यहाँ पर कोई मुसल्लह ग्रुप है या कोई ऐसा अमल है, हमारी पुरअमन तहरीक है, एक सियासी तहरीक है, यहाँ अगर इस तरह का कोई ग्रुप है, मैं पाकिस्तान के मीडिया को, इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को आप भेजें यहाँ पर। पाकिस्तान के अपोजिशन लीडरों को क्यों रोकते हैं आप उनको वहाँ जाने से? आप उन्हें यहाँ भेजें, वो आए, वो यहाँ पर आके जो है वो देखें लोगों को, इन निहत्ते लोगों को देखें, मजलूम लोगों को देखें।
I have my colleague Goswami joining us from Jammu right now. Goswami, the protesters are facing internet blockade. They have been getting accusations of carrying arms and ammunitions. What are the current updates that you have for us, Goswami?
See, it's the day 5 of the long march that has begun from the Drake ground in Rawalakot towards Muzaffarabad. And we have seen the hurdles that have been created by the Pakistani forces, be it firing at the civilians, firing at their convoys, taking the shelter in the civilian houses so that the collateral damage is also civilians, and also digging trenches in the roads that are leading to Muzaffarabad. But after having failed from every front, they are now trying to target the women. They are opening the fire. Though yesterday it was a peaceful day that turned out because the long march did not move further from the JAAC in Rawalakot. Today it is expected that at around noon the long march will resume and will head towards Muzaffarabad. This comes at a time when we are 3 days to the elections that are slated to take place in Muzaffarabad. So it is very likely that the Pakistani forces will use every possible means to stop these protesters from entering Muzaffarabad, because they don't want that the protesters reach Muzaffarabad, and Muzaffarabad faces a situation like we have seen in the Rawalakot, like we have seen in the Bhimber, like we have seen in the Kotli, where on the request or on the appeal of these protesters of Joint Awami Action Committee, people of PoK decided not to take part in the election, and the election turnout was meager. It was not that what Pakistan expected, that they will show the entire global community that see all is well and the people are participating in the election. So that plan of Pakistan has fallen flat, and that is what they anticipate to happen if the protesters protesters entered the Rawalakot. They entered the Muzaffarabad, where the elections of the second phase are slated to take place day after tomorrow. Sorry.
Right. Gursimran, stay with us. We have another breaking news, which is an addition to what you were mentioning. In fact, the Pakistani army in the Pakistani-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has violated the sanctity of homes. Now, these Pakistani army men are forcing their way into the residences and targeting Kashmiri women. We are going to give you fresh visuals coming in from the region, but the Pakistani forces are making their way into the homes and targeting women. So basically, the sanctity of the homes and the women is completely been now evaded and has been hit, as the Kashmiri women are actually trying their best to kind of get in and be a part on the front lines, working towards the long march towards Muzaffarabad. Gursimran, this is even more shocking. Now the women are also targeted. These Pakistani rangers are exactly getting inside the homes of these women.
That is what actually is happening on the ground. Reason being that they are frustrated. First, it was decided by the Joint Awami Action Committee that the men will move forward and the women and the children, they will stay behind along with the elders. But now what Pakistan is doing, that those women, those who are still at their places, since the men has moved forward, they are now trying to barge to their homes. They are vandalizing their houses, trying to destroy the CCTVs. They are trying to beat the women. Every atrocities that you can name, Pakistan is committing them on the people of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And the obvious reason is the Pakistani control that they are losing over the situation. Because yesterday we have heard the Pakistani Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi, who is one of the close confidants of General Asim Munir also, he said that we have a system that has completely collapsed. So that is the reality that he has spilled out, and the reality of the Pakistani state is that Pakistan is now going to split into parts. That is not what we have said, but the Pakistani politician Maulana Fazlur Rahman said a couple of days ago, in which he said that the situation that used to be in Baluchistan has become the situation in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and also in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
Right, Gursimran, thank you so much, and please continue tracking this piece of information. If there are any other suggestions or updates that you have for us, do share that with us. But right now on your television screen are plumes of smoke, fire has been set, and all of these have been set by the other side. When I say the other side, I mean the Pakistani Rangers, who have not just been creating obstructions in the long Awami march by the JAAC towards Muzaffarabad, but also, they are claiming that the protesters are carrying arms and ammunition, which are, when we speak to the JAAC side, they are claiming that it's not them, it is actually the Pakistani Rangers. But with no media intervention, with no international media presence in the whole situation, it is hard to say what the truth is. But for what we know is that now people are being shot right into their skull. 40 people have been killed, more than 200 people have been injured. We're showing you constantly the way this whole scenario, or rather massacre, is being unfolded. For what we know so far, it's the women also that are also being obstructed. They are targeting Kashmiri women. The Pakistani Rangers and soldiers are forcing their way inside the residences of Kashmiri women, and these are fresh visuals that are coming on, playing on your television screen right now. Disturbing, of course, very, very disturbing. Viewers, disturbing visuals. But yes, we will continue to track that piece of news for you. But for now, we're getting another breaking news that the Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has sparked a political controversy, and he has now sparked this controversy by commenting on the engineering graduates. While he was making a point, Revanth Reddy went on to call engineers as criminal wastes, and it has sparked a full political row. In fact, now when he was making these comments, the opposition, the BRS and the BJP have accused Revanth Reddy of insulting the engineering students, and also are he's questioning their ability. Now this controversy has quickly escalated, with Congress leaders defending the Chief Minister and countering the opposition's criticism. But for now, what we know is that Revanth Reddy made these obscene remarks, calling engineering graduates as criminal waste. Let's listen into Revanth Reddy, please.
సంవత్సరానికి 1,10,000 మంది ఇంజనీరింగ్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ సర్టిఫికేట్ తీసుకొని వస్తారు. మీరు ఆ పిల్లలకు అప్లికేషన్ ఇచ్చి వాని ఉద్యోగం కోసం అప్లికేషన్ ఫిలప్ చేయమని నేను కాదు, మీరు టీచర్లకు మీకే చెప్తున్నా, మీరు వాళ్ళని పిలిచి ఇంజనీరింగ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ తీసుకొని వచ్చి మీరు చదువు చెప్తున్న ఊరిలో ఉన్న పిల్లల్ని పిలిపించి ప్లెయిన్ పేపర్ ఇచ్చి ఒక జాబ్ కోసం అప్లికేషన్ ఫిలప్ చేయమని. ఇది క్రిమినల్ వేస్ట్. వాడు ఇంజనీరింగ్ చదువుకున్న చిన్న జాబ్ కోడు, స్కిల్స్ నేర్చుకోడు. తల్లిదండ్రులు మా పిల్లోడు ఇంజనీరింగ్ అయింది ఉద్యోగం అంటారు, నా దగ్గరకు వస్తుంటారు కాన్స్టిట్యున్సీ నుంచో బంధువులు, మావాడు ఇంజనీరింగ్ చదివింది, పెద్ద పెద్ద చదువు చదివింది సార్ అంటారు. పేరెంట్స్కి తెలియదు కదా.
All right, viewers, we're heading into a short commercial break. There's a world of news waiting for you on the other side. Coming up after a short television break is Indian medal tally in the Commonwealth Games 2026, rising to 17. Lovepreet Singh led the medal charge by winning silver in the men's 110 kg weightlifting event, while Seema claimed the bronze in women's discus throw. All of this after a short break.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है,
स्ट्रॉन्ग
है, high density wood fiber structure, advanced German adhesive bonding, solid defense।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस, सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है,
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना ये क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे, कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे।
All right, viewers, coming up after a short commercial break, Delhi court to deliver the sentence for Tahir Hussain and 4 others, the other convicts in the Northeast Delhi riots case dating back to 2020. After a short break.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जल जीरा, जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Skin tight like porcelain. I don't recognize these eyes. Something scratching from inside. Don't let it slip. I'm losing control. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a fire they can't keep. No more faces.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but, you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was...
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
इस कठोर कानूनों वाले प्रावधानों वाले इस बिल को पास कर दिया है। अब विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति की दिशा में जाने में एक महत्वपूर्ण काम पूर्ण हुआ है।
PM Modi releases fourth video message for students, congratulates on example clearing the parliament.
और साथ साथ फिर से कोई पेपर माफिया, पेपर लीक करने वाली गैंग, देश के बच्चों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाली गैंग, उनको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
PM Modi warns the exam syndicate, promises strict action against those playing with students' future.
इन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए देशव्यापी सभी राज्यों में भी और केंद्र में भी शिक्षा पद्धति में सुधार अनिवार्य हो गया है। टेक्नोलॉजी के भरपूर उपयोग की आवश्यकता हो गई है।
PM says technology stronger laws to be implemented for better transparency in public examinations.
I rise to move that the bill be passed. Motion is moved that the bill be passed. The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. No. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The bill is passed.
Anti-exam leak bill and Vande Mataram bill passed in both houses of parliament after marathon debate. PM chairs 4th Cabinet Committee on Security to review the evolving situation of West Bengal of the West Asia conflict. Delhi court to deliver the sentence for Tahir Hussain and 4 other convicts in Northeast Delhi riots case dating back to 2020. And India bags 2 more medals in Commonwealth. Lovepreet Singh secures a silver while Seema claims a bronze. Hello viewers, we're live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. Markets have opened on a positive note. Nifty is up by 44 points. Sensex gaining 70 points at open with Oro banking, Pharma leading the charge while IT slips into the red, dragged down by heavyweights. Infosys, HCL Tech and TCS. But the big story this morning is coming from Asia and it's all about technology viewers. South Korea's markets are surging over 13%, an extraordinary rally led by chip giants like Samsung. If you have Rishita, my colleague from our Republic business team, let's go straight across to Rishita. Rishita, very good morning to you, and our viewers who are watching right now would like to know what is happening in the markets. It looks like the Indian markets are opening in green today.
A very good morning to you as well and to the viewers. So the Indian stock market have opened in green today. Nifty was at a level of 24,361, which is up by 44 points from yesterday's close, while Sensex was at 77,998, up by 70 points. Now this has been because of the incredible rally by some of the sectors, the broader sectors in general, auto, banking and pharma. Nifty IT has however opened in red, particularly because of the players like Infosys, HCL Tech, which had been down by 3% right at the opening. In terms of stocks, Bajaj Finance, Mahindra and Mahindra have opened in green. And the bigger news, however, comes from the US markets and from the Asian markets because of the tech stock rally. Microsoft shares had jumped 15% on Thursday because of its incredible earnings. So Microsoft has made history as it has added nearly $500 billion to its value with a very promising looking earning report. Nasdaq futures had gained 0.5%. Nikkei has also jumped by 3%. Now it's very interesting to know that South Korea's market, South Korea's COPSI index was up by over 15% in the morning because of stocks like SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics. So it looks like a promising start for the market. Let's stay in tune for the trading session today. Back to you.
That's right. Well, thank you for getting us all those updates, Rushita. Rushita getting us the biggest updates from the world of business right here on Republic TV. Let's move ahead, viewers, to some of the other breaking news that we're getting for you. Responding to Telangana CM Revanth Reddy calling engineering students a criminal waste, the BRS spokesperson has now called out the double standards. In fact, he says that the CM wants the same Gen Z to enter the parliament. However, today he is also calling them a criminal waste. He also demanded that CM should apologize to all the students. He added that Hyderabad city is one of the fast developing cities in terms of it, and the backbone of the same is the same engineering students who CM criticized today. Now, we're getting to know that now the BRS has really hit out at the CM Revanth Reddy for terming engineering graduates in Telangana as criminal waste and demanding that he withdraw the remark and apologize to the state's youth. In a post on X, we see that the BRS is questioning the CM's qualifications to comment on abilities of young engineers. Let's go straight across to what the BRS has to say.
This reckless statement of Revanth Reddy should be condemned. We demand Revanth Reddy and the Congress party to apologize to the Gen Z and the engineering students for these careless and reckless statements, because Revanth Reddy should know that Hyderabad and Telangana's engineering college students have reached out to secure job positions in top reputed institutions like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and in fact to the extent of NASA. Such a chief minister putting his own state students to shame for politics is absolutely shameful, and the Congress party has to take responsibility for it and apologize to the engineering students and graduates.
All right, let's go across to my colleague Ashwarya is joining us. Ashwarya, you know, the BRS really hitting out at CM Reddy, and the BRS is saying that the Telangana's youth are gaining global recognition for their skills and contribution, and the CM's remark shows his arrogance and it's an insult towards the youth of Telangana. Yes, Ashwarya.
Well, CM Revanth Reddy did spark a row and in fact criticize the students, which did not go well, both with the opposition as well as the students, because just a few days ago we could see CM Revanth Reddy had actually held a march as a victory for the CJP protest, and even appreciated the Gen Z or the youth. And he said that if the youth had decided something, they could change, and they are the future of the country of India, and that is the reason he also advocated for the age eligibility criteria to be reduced to 21 years for the MLA and MP, so that they can address their own issues, and that he even appreciated and said that the students are very intelligent these days, and they are ready to take up their own issues, and they are even ready to enter parliament. But on the other hand, just 2 days after that, he on speaking at an event said that the engineering students, especially from Telangana, who are graduating, almost 1.5 lakh students graduate every day every year from Telangana are criminal waste. He in fact went on to say that even they cannot even fill out their own application forms, and that is how poorly skilled they are, and that is the reason though the parents and the families have huge expectations from the students because they have studied engineering, they have pursued engineering, but still they could not secure a job for themselves nor develop their skills, and in fact waste their time out looking for a job, and that is the reason they have become a criminal waste for the state as well as the country. This particular statement shows hypocrisy is what the opposition is also claiming, because on one hand, when you're appreciating the same youth, on the other hand, you're criticizing them and calling them and terming them criminal waste is not something that is expected from a CM, and especially towards a youth who is graduating engineering. And he also went on to say that the employment generation and even addressing the unemployment issues, and in a city such as Hyderabad, which has evidently a growing IT sector, is something shows a lack of policy from the state government and should not be blamed upon the students for not able to secure a job in the IT sector of Hyderabad.
That's right. Well, thank you for getting us all those details, Ashura. I'll be coming back to you for more on this development. I really have to move ahead, viewers, to some of the other stories we're tracking. In fact, the Indian hockey team has unveiled a new saffron jersey for the Indian men's and women's hockey teams ahead of the Hockey World Cup. The Hockey India president has defended the change. Hockey India president defended the change, clarifying that the saffron kit was requested by players and coaching staff to improve the visibility against the blue synthetic turf. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra strongly criticized the decision as an attempt to alter India's core identity. Republic's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami argues that saffron is part of the Indian national flag that represents courage, sacrifice, and national pride. So what's the problem with saffron? Take a look.
Now, things must always change. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. And it's beautiful that the Indian hockey team changed its color from blue to saffron. It's fantastic. But some people have a problem with it. That's the saffron jersey, the saffron kit of the Indian hockey team. Now bright orange stands out in the field. Earlier, blue, no problem with blue. But then orange is fantastic. And the women's team also put out their pictures, beaming, happy, wearing orange gear. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, the Tukre gang, the Congress party, has a huge problem with it. They're saying, why orange? Everything is being saffronized in our country. What will happen to blue? My question is, what is the problem with orange? Why have such a fanatic distaste for orange? Just because it is a color associated with Hinduism? Yes, it is. It's a color associated with sacrifice. It's a color associated with bravery. It's a color that is emblazoned on the tricolor. And the Congress party has a problem with the color which is on the tricolor. What a hateful party. How much they must hate Hinduism, to hate saffron, to hate orange, and make a political deal of it. They want to demotivate, ladies and gentlemen, the hockey team. They want to put them down. They want to wrap them in politics. They want to do tukre on everything. They want to go CJP on everything. For God's sake, the CJP tukre Congress approach has to stop. In 2019, the Indian cricket team, for a short while, put in a little bit of orange in their gear. Little bit of orange. You see that colorful dress, and my God, the Congress party then said, oh, everything is getting saffronized. The government wants to Hinduize everything. Why are Hindus getting so much importance? After all, the Congress party took so much effort to spread lies about saffron terror. Remember Chidambaram and the saffron terror story? So they see saffron everywhere. They go green with envy and red with rage. Everybody who wears orange, according to them, is a quote-unquote Bhagwadhari. Tomorrow, Rahul Gandhi, seeing the kind of abuse that he is indulging in these days, will call everyone who wears saffron idiots. Maybe that's what he thinks, ladies and gentlemen. Netherlands hockey team wears orange. Are they Bhagwadhari? The nation wants to know. Is the Netherlands hockey team wearing orange because they are Bhagwadhari? Will the Congress say, change this color, it's too pro-Hindu? The Hyderabad Sunrisers IPL team wears orange. The Congress party will say, Hyderabad Sunrisers wearing orange. Oh my God, Bhagwadari, dangerous. They're all radical. Maybe they'll call them terrorists because they're wearing saffron. The Ivory Coast football team wears orange. Next, Rahul Gandhi will go to the Ivory Coast and say, don't wear orange, you're supporting the BJP. Even the football team of Bhutan, ladies and gentlemen, proudly wears orange. I'm pretty sure Priyanka Vadra will go one day to Bhutan and say, don't wear orange. You're being too pro-Hindu. After all, we have said that we are a Muslim party. What short-sighted thinking. What narrow-minded thinking, ladies and gentlemen. And it is this very mindset that we have to fight. Where you see danger in anything that is loosely associated with Hinduism, believe me, the Congress party went crazy in their mind when so many people turned up at the Kumbh. They thought, saffron, sea of saffron, ocean of saffron. They will never say anything about green. They will never say anything about green. They love green. They hate saffron. Congress loves green. Congress hates saffron, ladies and gentlemen. But they should not be speaking for anything to do with sport. After all, this is a party that sold out the Commonwealth Games, put out a 70,000 crore rupees scam, which I am proud to have broken at that point of time. And we broke the back of the Congress government. Then Suresh Kalmadi quit. So this is a party which has always compromised sports people in this country. They have done nothing for the upliftment of hockey or of any sport, whereas the BJP-led government in Orissa extended its lucrative sponsorship of Hockey India for 3 additional years, carrying the commitment till 2036, ladies and gentlemen, the centenary of Orissa's statehood, to maintain stable funding for the men's and women's hockey team. That's called putting your money where your mouth is. You know, on the other side is sheer laziness and envy. Laziness and envy. The nation only wants to know one thing. Why does the Congress party hate saffron so much? And why do they love green so much? I'm not saying don't like green. Green is also, ladies and gentlemen, very much there, emblazoned in the tricolour. My question is, why are you anti-saffron? What's your problem?
We're getting you some more breaking news coming in. A 4-story building has collapsed in Thane's Bhiwandi area. 7 bodies have been recovered from the debris. At least 10 people are stranded under the debris. The municipal corporation had previously vacated this building after declaring it dangerous. According to the MLA, the collapsed building has now, of course, the rescue relief operations underway. The collapse occurred due to the ongoing repair work on the ground floor. It is feared that 6 to 7 people are trapped inside. The MLA has stated that the teams from the NDRF, the fire brigade and the TDRF are currently conducting rescue operations at the site. We have those pictures coming in from overnight where you see the death toll has risen. Rescuers are trying to go ahead and make sure that they clear out the debris. We're getting some reactions coming in. Let's play them out.
मम्मी और मेरे पापा बाहर निकले और मैं उसमें फंस चुकी थी, मैं उसमें पूरी दब चुकी थी। फिर भी मैंने कोशिश किया। वहाँ की पूरी पानी, वहाँ की पूरी मिट्टी मुझको पूरे दबा चुकी थी। मैंने मतलब मैं वहाँ पे खो चुकी थी एक तरह से। फिर मैंने कोशिश नहीं हारा। फिर भी वहाँ से मैंने निकलने की पूरी तरह से कोशिश की। मैं अपनी मम्मी अपने पापा को दोनों को आवाज लगाई, तो भी मम्मी पापा तक आवाज बिल्कुल भी नहीं गई। मम्मी पापा भी मुझे आवाज लगा रहे थे, तो भी मम्मी पापा का भी आवाज नहीं आ रहा था, ना मेरा आवाज आ रहा था। फिर भी मैंने कोशिश नहीं हारा। वहां से मैंने बहुत कोशिश की, बहुत जी जान लगाई जहां से मैं बाहर निकली, बट वहां पूरी तरीके से फंस चुकी थी। और मतलब ये वर्कर्स जो थे ये काम सही तरीके से नहीं किए, नहीं तो आज वो सही तरीके से किया होता तो आज ये हादसा नहीं होता।
वो सामने मेरे भैया है, उसने बोला कि आप मेरे रूम में आ जाओ, ये बिल्डिंग कभी भी गिर सकती है, अभी टूटने वाली है। 4 लोग, 2 बेटी और एक मेरा हस्बैंड और मैं, खाली हम लोग निकल पाए बाहर बस।
Okay, let's go to Revati, my colleague joining us. Revati, a very unfortunate incident which we are getting for our viewers. This is from Bhiwandi, and 7 people have lost their lives. But many people are still trapped under the debris. So the focus right now of the rescue and relief operation is to make sure that these trapped people are rescued in time. Yes, Revati.
Right, as you mentioned rightly, that an unfortunate incident has happened in Bhiwandi, where a four-story building has collapsed during the repair works. Also, the Thane Municipal Corporation had declared the building as a dangerous site, and the reparation work of the building was underway when this particular incident happened. The workers were trapped after the building fell, and the rescue operation is underway since 1 a.m. NDRF, TDRF, and Fire Brigade of Thane Municipal Corporation are on the site, and they are rescuing the people who are trapped under debris. As we listened to the very much reaction of the mayor and the MLA, and of course the victim, the building was vacated because it was declared dangerous, but yet a mishap has happened where as of now, seven dead bodies have been recovered, and they are being sent to Indira Hospital in Bhiwandi, and the further process of autopsy will happen. But as of now, it is said by the authorities in Bhiwandi that the death count might rise up because no exact number of how many people are trapped under the debris is clear. Over to you.
All right. Well, thank you for getting us all those details, Revati. I'll be coming back to you as the rescue and relief operations continue. And viewers, let's move ahead right now to some of the other stories we're tracking. Next is Bharat in 1 minute. Let's get started. Heavy rainfall across Uttarakhand caused a surge in the water level of the Alaknanda River in Rudraprayag. The Solan River is flowing with strong currents, prompting authorities to closely monitor the situation and advise residents and pilgrims to stay away from the river banks as a precaution. Rescue operations are underway in Maharashtra's Bhiwandi after a four-story building partially collapsed. Emergency teams, including disaster response personnel, are carrying out extensive search and rescue efforts at the site, clearing debris and looking for anyone who may be trapped, while authorities continue to assess the cause of the collapse. The flood situation has worsened in several parts of Odisha following heavy rains, with waterlogging affecting low-lying areas and disrupting normal life. Rescue operations are underway as local authorities and emergency response teams work to evacuate stranded residents and provide relief in the affected areas. Viewers, we're getting some more breaking news coming in. This is a Shraddha Walkar murder case. Brother has moved the High Court, Delhi High Court, seeking time-bound completion of trial and cites a prolonged delay. The brother of Shraddha has approached the Delhi High Court seeking directions for the time-bound completion of the trial in the sensational 2022 murder case, alleging that prolonged delays have delayed justice for the family and prevented them from performing her last rites. As the mortal remains continue to remain part of the case property, petition is listed for hearing on Friday before a bench of Justice Madhu Jain. The writ petition has been filed by Shrija Vikas Walkar, the brother of the deceased, through advocate Seema Kushwaha, seeking a direction to the trial court to conclude the sessions trial pending before the additional sessions judge. Saket Court within the fixed time frame. The petition has been filed under Article 226 and 227 of the Constitution with Section 528 of the BNS. Okay, we will try to go across to my colleague in a short while from now, but the brother of Shraddha has moved the Delhi High Court seeking directions for the time-bound completion of the trial in the 2022 murder case. Let's go straight across to my colleague Sarthak. Sarthak, the brother says there have been repeated delays, and that is the reason that family has been denied justice. They have not been able to perform Shraddha's last rites as well because the mortal remains are retained as case property. Yes, Sarthak.
But absolutely, Shivangi, just to give a little background on the case, Shraddha Walkar was allegedly murdered by her live-in partner Aftab Amin Poonawala in May 2022. The trial is still pending before the additional sessions judge in the Saket District Court, and several prosecutions have been cited. The prosecution has cited several witnesses, nearly over 220 witnesses have been cited by the prosecution 171 witnesses have already been examined and 50 are still remaining. Today, a petition has been filed in the Delhi High Court, in the court of Justice Madhu Jain, where a petition has been filed by Shraddha's brother, Vikas Walker, through an advocate who goes by the name Seema Kushwaha. And where in this particular petition, what they're seeking is a time-bound completion of the trial. They have cited that the trial has remained pending.
That's right.
In the court.
Okay, Sarthak, I'm really sorry. I have to really interrupt you there because we have to move ahead right now. Taking a short break. India's medal tally in the Commonwealth Games rises to 17. Lovepreet Singh led the medal charge by winning silver in the men's 110 kilogram weightlifting event.
हर पल बनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अगर मैं जेनजी की भाषा को बोरो करूं, then I will have to say Modi ji clocked it and provided a legislative solution.
आपको समझ ना आए तो आप घर जाके गूगल पे आप सर्च कर लेना है क्या नारा है। वो नारा देते थे वास्ते गुने हुइयां, और वो नारा देते थे इतने प्यार से, इतनी खूबसूरत तरीके से इस्तीफा मांगते थे। कहते थे जब आपसे इस्तीफा भी मांगते थे तो कहते थे कुचू पुचू इस्तीफा दे दो, आज हमारा जन्मदिन है।
विपक्ष के आंदोलन को एक समराइज करना चाहूंगा मैं जेनजी के भाषा में। 37 दिन तक तो ये जंतर मंतर नहीं गए, तो इनको MIA हो गया। MIA क्या है? MIA मिसिंग इन एक्शन। तो 37 दिन तक हमने कुछ नहीं किया, तो कुछ तो करना चाहिए। जंतर मंतर तो नहीं जा सकते, तो हम जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के आवास के सामने और वहां पर जाके आंदोलन करते हैं।
So these are the three categories: student, idiot, and andhbhakt who follows the idiot. Now,
PM says technology stronger laws to be implemented for better transparency in public examination.
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है,
स्ट्रॉन्ग है,
हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर, एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग, सॉलिड डिफेंस।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Skin tight like porcelain. I don't recognize these eyes. Something scratching from inside. Don't let it slip. I'm losing control. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a fire they can't keep. No more faces.
finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but you know, we got to smack them a little bit.
The United States has launched airstrikes on Iran hours after President Donald Trump warned Tehran of a strong military response. The strikes mark the first major American attack since Trump paused the bombing campaign last week. Trump had earlier vowed to hit Iran very hard after an Iranian missile attack on an American base in Jordan. Within hours, US forces launched retaliatory strikes, escalating tensions across the Middle East.
We're going to hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because in that, there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but you know, we got to smack them a little bit. Yeah, I think more so that, yeah, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 8,000 mile-an-hour missiles at us, and fortunately we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the Patriot system.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Viewers, you're watching live and breaking on Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra. Now, anti-paper leak bill has already passed the Rajya Sabha test, and Prime Minister Modi has hailed the move while sending a strong message to those who are playing with the future of Indian students. He says that those examination mafia will not be spared in India. Getting all the details on that, but first up, a quick check at the top headlines. Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
इस कठोर कानूनों वाले प्रावधानों वाले इस बिल को पास कर दिया है। अब विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति की दिशा में जाने में एक महत्वपूर्ण काम पूर्ण हुआ है।
Prime Minister Modi releases fourth video message for students, congratulates on exam bill clearing Parliament.
और साथ-साथ फिर से कोई पेपर माफिया, पेपर लीक करने वाली गैंग, देश के बच्चों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाली गैंग, उनको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
Prime Minister Modi warns the exam syndicate, promises strict action against those playing with students' future.
सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए देशव्यापी सभी राज्यों में भी और केंद्र में भी शिक्षा पद्धति में सुधार अनिवार्य हो गया है। टेक्नोलॉजी के भरपूर उपयोग की आवश्यकता हो गई है।
Prime Minister says technology will be leveraged, stronger laws will be brought in for a better transparency in public examinations.
To move that the bill be passed.
Motion is moved that the bill be passed. The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. No. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The bill is passed.
Anti-paper league bill and Vande Mataram bill both passed in the Houses of Parliament after a marathon debate. Prime Minister Modi chairs 4th Cabinet Committee on Security to review the evolving situation in West Asia. Delhi court to deliver the sentence for Tahir Hussain and 4 others convicted in North-East Delhi riots case dating to 2020. India bags 2 more medals in Commonwealth Games. Lovepreet Singh secures a silver while Seema Kalirama claims a bronze. And viewers, top focus, a major escalation is now unfolding in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as ongoing demonstrations have now reached a boiling point. In a significant shift in the movement's scale, women protesters have now joined the front line in large numbers, marching through Kotli region to raise slogans against the brutal massacre carried out by Pakistani army. Outraged by the response, protesters have been openly accusing Pakistani forces of state terrorism and systematic repression. The mobilization of women in Kotli highlights a deepening public resentment against military as well as signaling a sharp intensification of civil unrest in the region. So those are the visuals, viewers, coming to light from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as the situation continues to escalate on the ground. You can see how the women protesters are now on the front line. They've joined the long march, and this is what the treatment that has been given to them by the Pakistani forces. On the other side, you can see how the forces are openly resorting to killing these unarmed protesters. To talk about numbers, over 40 people, civilians, have been killed in just last 4 days. This as the long march continues in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Women now also joining the front line, raising slogans against Pakistani forces. In fact, viewers, staying with more developments coming to light from PoK. Now clashes are broken out between Pakistan security forces and local residents at Abshar Chowk in Kotli. Following the clashes, Pak security forces opened direct fire on these civilians involved in the demonstration. And this follows the massive uprising across PoK, where peaceful, unarmed protesters who have been marching to Muzaffarabad are being fired upon by the Pakistani army forces. Over 40 people, we understand, have now been killed in just last 4 days, in fact, by Asim Munir's forces across PoK as the brutal crackdown continues across the region. So we're getting these live visuals on Republic TV. We've accessed these exclusive visuals exposing the reality of Asim Munir's forces and what is right now, viewers, unfolding in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. You have system taking place, violation of human rights. Civilians are being fired upon by these Pakistani forces and the crackdown continues. It's been 4 days since the long march began and the casualty has now topped over 40. In fact, viewers, violent clashes have been breaking out as the protesters confront Pakistani army personnel. Streets are filled with stones, flames and even thick smoke. So these are the visuals we're getting on your screen. You can see how these forces are openly resorting to killing civilians. All right, viewers, this is the second visual that we've accessed from Kotli in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. You can see women scrambling for safety as Pakistani army personnel arrive at the protest site. You can see women, in fact, fleeing essentially from the protest site because the kind of treatment that has been meted out to civilians across PoK is what has caused panic among these protesters as well. And you can see them fleeing from the protest spot. The next video that we've accessed also shows you that fires have now engulfed the streets as demonstrations intensified across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. You can see, in fact, the smoke bellowing from different spots in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Not just this, In fact, this comes in as tear gas shells are also being used by Pakistani forces against these civilian protesters who are unarmed and peacefully asking for their rights. And now we are another visual also showing you what is right now happening in a PoK as a long march now enters its day 5. Women protesters are taking the front line. They've now joined the long march in large numbers. On your screen, you can see women marching through the streets in Kotli, raising slogans in solidarity with these protesters, even chanting, "Hum tumhare saath hain, inqilab aayega." So these are the kind of slogans which have been echoing across the area as they continue to demand justice. Let's listen in. Again, another visual, a testament to the kind of women participation that's now being witnessed in these protests which are taking place across PoK. This visual is coming to light from Kotli, where women protesters have turned out in large numbers, raising powerful slogans, "Hum lekar rahenge azadi." So they're talking about independence of PoK from Pakistan. They continue to voice their anger, and you can see also on the other side these Pak force personnel which are deployed there trying to manhandle these women protesters as well.
बस खामोश हो जाओ सारे। मेरी एक बात सुनिए, उधर सवाल ही पता नहीं होता, आप अगली बात करें।
Now viewers, another visual is showing you the strength and the kind of solidarity that's now growing on the ground. Massive demonstrations have now erupted in Kotli as thousands of residents have now poured out onto the streets, raising slogans against the Pakistani army, condemning the atrocities that have been taking place across PoK. And these visuals, the numbers reflect the scale of public anger, with demonstrators marching in large numbers and demanding justice from the Pakistani establishment. Take a look. And now viewers, we've shown you what exactly is unfolding right now in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir through these visuals. Let's also listen into the voices which are coming to light. Now, Sardar Aman Khan, who's a member of JAAC, has rejected the claims that these protesters are armed. He stated that armed individuals on the buildings belong to Pakistani forces and not the protesters. He even challenged officials to allow international media access to Rawalakot for the world to see the reality. Take a listen.
मैं उस बयान की मजम्मत करता हूं कि रावलाकोट के अंदर मौजूद निहत्ते ये मुजाहिरीन जो आप इस कैमरे की आंख से देख सकते हैं, जो कि मुकम्मल निहत्ते खड़े हैं, जिनके लिए ये कहा गया है कि वो शहर में इमारतों पर चढ़ के मुसल्लह अफराद चढ़े हुए हैं। बिल्कुल शहर की इमारतों पर मुसल्लह अफराद हैं, लेकिन वो रेंजर्स के अफराद हैं, वो पुलिस के अफसरात हैं, वो FC के अफसरात हैं, वो मुख्तलिफ सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेज के एहलकार हैं जो शहर के ऊपर खड़े हैं और वहाँ से निहत्ते शहरियों को टारगेट करते हैं, उन्हें जो है निशाना बनाते हैं। मैं इस मौका पर ये गुजारिश करना चाहता हूं कि अगर किसी को ये लगता है कि यहाँ पर कोई मुसल्लह ग्रुप है या कोई ऐसा अमल है, हमारी पुरअमन तहरीक है, एक सियासी तहरीक है, यहाँ अगर इस तरह का कोई ग्रुप है, मैं पाकिस्तान के मीडिया को, इंटरनेशनल मीडिया को आप भेजें यहाँ पर। पाकिस्तान के अपोजिशन लीडरों को क्यों रोकते हैं आप उनको वहाँ जाने से? आप उन्हें यहाँ भेजें, वो आए, वो यहाँ पर आके जो है वो देखें लोगों को, इन निहत्ते लोगों को देखें, मजलूम लोगों को देखें।
All right, my colleague Gursimran also joins us with more details on this. Gursimran, couple of things coming to light as the long march continues in PoK. First of all, we are seeing increased participation of women protesters, and not just that, the crackdown has also intensifying on the other side. We have these visuals where these Pakistani forces can be seen storming the Kashmiri women's house and targeting them. And secondly, this entire narrative of these government of Pakistan saying that these are armed protesters or these are mujahideens, that's also been dispelled by these protesters, clearly stating it out for the media and the world to watch, that these are unarmed, peaceful protesters continuously raising their demands.
We have seen that every time the protests or the resentment against the federal government breaks out in Pakistan, the first thing the Pakistani establishment tries to do is to defame the any protest or any resentment that the people have by linking them to the terror groups or linking them to the India. We have seen that the rebellion that is happening in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and also in the areas of the Baluchistan, they all have been labelled as the Indian agents for the reason that Pakistan wants to show that this is not a genuine resentment against the Pakistani federal government. This time also Pakistan tried to play this same card by labeling them as terrorists, but the reality is that close to 100 videos emerge on a single day. Not even in a single video it has emerged that these people are equipped with the weapons, which clearly shows that Pakistani federal government and the establishment is trying to defame them on the grounds which do not exist. Now coming to the women's being targeted, it has happened in the Kotli and the areas where the men, those who are the head of the families, they have moved for the march, and the women and the children are at their places. Now the security forces are entering their homes, vandalizing them, trying to distort every possible means where it can be captured, be it the CCTV, phone recordings, everything they are trying to distort so that there is no proof of the Pakistani brutality on the civilians that goes to the global arena, because there has been an internet clampdown that has been extended till we know that 5th of August, and Pakistan wants to muzzle the voice of the people of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. They have failed on the first front, that is to show that the elections in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir are accepted by all. The people of PoK have rejected them completely, and now what we are witnessing, that there is a brute use of force that is happening on the innocent civilians in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir by the federal government and the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir government. This is for the sake of it, because they are frustrated with the way the global arena is now condemning the move of the Pakistan to target the civilians.
Right, in fact, and also Gursimran, take us through the death toll which has now increased. We understand over 40 civilians have been killed in the last 4 days.
Yes, if we speak of last 4 days, starting from the 27th of July evening, it was around 6:30 when this march began. So 40 casualties have been reported so far, and the number is likely to go up as many of those who are injured are in critical condition. There have been deaths reported from all across the Rawalakot and Mirpur. These are the two areas. Even starting from the Dadial also, there have been casualties reported. This takes the total toll of this entire agitation, 50-day long agitation, to somewhere close to 70-80. This is what the toll has officially been shared by the Joint Awami Action Committee. Now coming to the present state of affairs, the long march is presently at the JAAC in Rawalakot, and it is expected that today they will begin the long march and will move towards Muzaffarabad. But Muzaffarabad is going to the polls on 2nd of August, so it is very likely that the brute use of force is likely to extend, as we see, because on 2nd of August there is an elections, that the second phase elections that are slated to take place in Muzaffarabad. So at any given cost, the federal government and the Pakistani-occupied Jammu and Kashmir government, they would not want these protesters to reach Muzaffarabad, because they have seen that what has happened in the Rawalakot, in Bhimber, in Kotli, that when these protesters reach and they gave a call that there should be boycott of the ongoing elections, the people decided to stay away from the polling stations, and that is what has irked the federal government.
बीजेपी द्वारा 20 जुलाई को संसद मार्च के आह्वान को ध्यान में रखते हुए प्रदर्शनकारियों से कई बार बातचीत की कोशिश की गई थी तथा उन्हें अवगत कराया गया था कि नई दिल्ली सुरक्षा संहिता की धारा 163 प्रभाव में, जिसमें 5 या उससे अधिक लोगों के इकट्ठा होने पर प्रतिबंध है। ये सूचना मीडिया और सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से भी प्रसारित की गई थी। इसके बावजूद ऑर्गेनाइजर्स द्वारा लोगों को जंतर मंतर पहुंचने तथा संसद मार्च के लिए सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से प्रेरित किया गया। इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए तारीख 20 जुलाई 2026 को दिल्ली पुलिस द्वारा पुलिस स्टाफ की ब्रीफिंग करके जगह जगह पर भारी संख्या में तैनाती और अलग अलग रास्तों पर बैरिकेडिंग की गई थी। इसमें विभिन्न सीनियर रैंक के ऑफिसर्स एवं महिला स्टाफ की भी तैनाती की गई थी। 20 तारीख की सुबह होते ही संसद मार्च के लिए भारी भीड़ जुटनी शुरू हो गई। हालांकि प्रदर्शनकारियों के पास संसद मार्च की कोई अनुमति नहीं थी, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भीड़ लगातार बढ़ती चली जा रही थी। शुरुआत में प्रदर्शनकारियों ने जंतर मंतर और उसके आसपास के इलाकों में नारेबाजी के साथ अपना प्रदर्शन शुरू किया, लेकिन धीरे धीरे यही भीड़ संसद की तरफ बढ़ने लगी। रास्ते में हर जंक्शन और हर सड़क पर पुलिस बल पहले से ही तैनात था, जो लगातार प्रदर्शनकारियों से अपील कर रहा था कि वे अपनी जगह पर बैठकर शांतिपूर्ण प्रदर्शन करें। लेकिन भीड़ पर इसका कोई असर नहीं हो रहा था। भीड़ बैरिकेड तोड़कर पटेल चौक की तरफ बढ़ने लगी, जहां रास्ते में पुलिस ने बैरिकेड्स लगाए थे, लेकिन भीड़ ने इन बैरिकेड्स को तोड़ना शुरू कर दिया। कई बार पुलिस ने बैरिकेड्स को दोबारा लगाया, लेकिन उग्र भीड़ ने उन्हें फिर से तोड़ दिया और हजारों की संख्या में प्रदर्शनकारी पार्लियामेंट स्ट्रीट की तरफ बढ़ने लगे। धीरे धीरे भीड़ का स्वरूप उपद्रवी होना शुरू हो गया और भीड़ जोरदार नारेबाजी के साथ साथ पुलिस पर बोतलें, जूते और पत्थर भी फेंके जाने लगे। पुलिस की कोशिश थी कि हालातों को काबू में रखा जाए और बार बार प्रदर्शनकारियों से अपील की गई कि वे अपनी जगह पर बैठकर शांतिपूर्ण प्रदर्शन करें, लेकिन आक्रोशित भीड़ ने पुलिस पर भारी पथराव शुरू कर दिया और पटेल चौक पर लगे बैरिकेड को तोड़ते हुए संसद भवन की तरफ। पुलिस ने बैरिकेड को फिर से खींचकर भीड़ से अपील की कि वो अपना प्रदर्शन शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से करें, लेकिन भीड़ भारी पथराव के साथ बैरिकेड्स को तोड़ती हुई हाई सिक्योरिटी जोन में पहुंच गई और उनकी दूरी संसद से महज 50 मीटर की रही। ये देखकर पुलिस अधिकारियों ने बार बार उग्र भीड़ को चेतावनी दी कि सभी बैरिकेड के पीछे रहे। और अगर बैरिकेड को पार करने की कोशिश की गई तो उन पर कानूनी कार्रवाई भी हो सकती है, लेकिन भीड़ पूरी तरह से काबू से बाहर हो चुकी थी। ऐसे में पुलिस द्वारा अत्यंत संयम बरतने के बावजूद अनियंत्रित भीड़ को काबू करने के लिए और उन्हें संसद की तरफ बढ़ने से रोकने के लिए नॉन लीथल टीयर गैस का इस्तेमाल करने पर बाध्य हो सकता और भीड़ को तितर बितर करने के लिए लाठी बल का प्रयोग करना होगा। इस दौरान कई जगहों पर पुलिस कर्मियों के साथ मारपीट भी की गई और भीड़ की तरफ से लगातार पथराव हुआ। इसके बाद जब भीड़ का एक हिस्सा कनॉट प्लेस के आउटर सर्किल में पहुंचा तो वहां भी प्रदर्शनकारियों ने सरकारी एवं निजी संपत्ति को नुकसान पहुंचाया और भारी पथराव किया। इससे इलाके में जान माल के खतरे की स्थिति बन गई। ऐसी विषम परिस्थिति में वहां भी भीड़ को काबू करने के लिए टीयर गैस और लाठीचार्ज का प्रयोग करना। इस पूरे घटनाक्रम के दौरान उग्र भीड़ के द्वारा पथराव एवं घेरकर मारपीट के कारण 250 से अधिक पुलिसकर्मी घायल हुए, जिसमें सिपाही से लेकर अत्यंत वरिष्ठ रैंक तक के अधिकारी शामिल हैं। चोटिल होने के बावजूद नहीं पुलिस कर्मियों ने स्थिति पर काबू करने का प्रयास जारी रखा तथा स्थिति को नियंत्रण में किया।
एक यूनिफॉर्म के पीछे सिर्फ एक पुलिस कर्मी नहीं होता, उसके पीछे होती है उसकी माँ, पिता, पत्नी, बच्चे और पूरा परिवार जो देर रात तक वेट करता है कि वो सुकुशल घर लौट आए। अब मैं आपके सामने कुंजल जी को रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि वो प्लीज अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें। हेलो, Hello, my name is Kunjal. I am a student of DU. My father is a SI in Delhi Police. मेरे बाबा पुलिस में आने से पहले मेरे फादर इंडियन नेवी में मैरीन कमांडो थे। उन्होंने इंडियन नेवी को अपने 15 साल दिए हैं। My father was at main protest site. He was at the front line near the barricades, जहाँ पर बहुत सारा क्राउड था। मेरे पापा जब भी रात में घर आते थे तो वो बोलते थे कि अब ये प्रोटेस्ट स्टूडेंट प्रोटेस्ट नहीं लग रहा है, इसमें बहुत सारे एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स जुड़ चुके हैं। उसके अगले दिन ही 25 तारीख को माय फादर वाज पुल्ड बाय अ क्राउडी मॉब एंड ही वाज ऑलमोस्ट लिंच्ड नियर द स्टेज ऑफ जंतर मंतर। दिस हैपेंड ऑन 25th and around 2 p.m. he was unconscious at the RML hospital for about 4 hours. रात को 10 बजे के करीब पापा के कलीग्स उन्हें घर लेके आए और उनकी यूनिफॉर्म पूरी खून से लाल थी। उन्हें ऐसे देख के हमारे लिए बहुत पेनफुल था। हमने जब उनसे पूछा कि पापा ये कैसे हुआ तो उन्होंने बताया कि बेटा कोई बात नहीं, ड्यूटी के टाइम पर छोटी मोटी चोटें लगती रहती हैं, पर मतलब उनके सर पे 4 टाँके आए हुए थे जो कि छोटी मोटी चोट नहीं थी। वो रात हमारे लिए बहुत मुश्किल थी। और जब मैंने सोशल मीडिया खोल के देखा तो सोशल मीडिया पे मेरे ही पापा को क्रिमिनल बता रहे थे। और उसके अगले दिन ही जब मुझे पता चला कि जिन लोगों ने मेरे फादर पे अटैक किया था वो लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट जा रहे हैं अपना क्राइम वॉश आउट करने और उन्हीं के खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करने के लिए, सारे पुलिस वालों के खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करने के लिए मुझे बहुत बुरा लगा। और मुझे लगा कि मुझे भी जाना चाहिए अपने फादर के जस्टिस के लिए। और मुझे बाकी पुलिस फैमिलीज का भी साथ मिला। हम लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए, हमने एडवोकेट से रिक्वेस्ट करी और एडवोकेट ने हमारी बात ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने रखी और हमें भरोसा दिलाया गया कि हम भी हमारे भी इक्वल राइट्स हैं एज द सिटीजन ऑफ दिस कंट्री और हमें भी जस्टिस मिलेगा। सीमा जी, आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे? नमस्कार। नमस्कार, मेरा नाम सीमा है। मेरे पति दिल्ली पुलिस में ASI हैं। वो 33 साल की जो मेरे पति दिल्ली पुलिस में एज ए कांस्टेबल उन्होंने पुलिस फोर्स ज्वाइन की और उसके बाद वो अब तक 33 साल की जॉब करते हुए एक ASI के पद पर हैं। जंतर मंतर के प्रोटेस्ट के दौरान उन्हें भी अपनी ड्यूटी दी गई थी। प्रोटेस्ट को उन्हें भी पीसफुली कंडक्ट कराना था। वो अपनी ड्यूटीज पूरी मुस्तैदी के साथ निभा रहे थे। 20 जुलाई को वो जल्दी ही अपने घर से रोज की तरह अपना टिफिन लेकर जैसे जाते हैं, उसी तरह से 20 जुलाई को भी वो जल्दी ही निकल गए। और उन्होंने जब 11 बजे के आसपास मेरी उनसे बातें हुई तो उन्होंने फोन पर बताया कि आज जंतर मंतर पर भीड़ कुछ ज्यादा है और प्रोटेस्टर जो हैं वो संसद मार्च के लिए जा रहे हैं, जो कि वीडियो क्लिप में भी दिखाया गया है। और उसके बाद मैंने पुलिसकर्मी की पत्नी होने के नाते सिर्फ यही कहा कि आप अपना ख्याल रखें। फिर उसके बाद मेरी उनसे कोई बात नहीं हुई। और शाम को 7 बजे जब मैंने उनका फोन मिलाया और उनसे बात हुई तो वो एक हॉस्पिटल LNJP हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट थे और अपना ट्रीटमेंट करा रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि जो भीड़ है वो ज्यादा उग्र हो गई थी और भीड़ के अंदर कुछ शरारती तत्व भी शामिल हो गए थे, जिन्होंने पुलिस फोर्स पर गमलों से, जो भी उनके हाथ में चीजें आ रही थी, चप्पलों से, जूतों से और पत्थरों से उन्हें पुलिस फोर्स को घायल कर दिया था, जो कि एक वीडियो क्लिप में भी दिखाया जा रहा है। और उसके बाद उनकी फोन की बैटरी डेड होने की वजह से मेरी उनसे कोई बात नहीं हुई। शाम को, रात को जब वो 11 साढ़े, ये सब सुनकर मैं बहुत ज्यादा घबरा गई थी। जब तक वे घर नहीं आए तो मेरी प्रतिक्रिया बहुत ही ज्यादा मेरे लिए बहुत पेनफुल थी। उसके बाद जब वो 11 बजे घर आए तो उन्होंने बताया कि छात्रों की प्रोटेस्ट में छात्रों के साथ साथ कुछ शरारती तत्व और असामाजिक तत्व भी थे। उन्होंने पुलिस फोर्स पर जो पुलिस फोर्स ने संसद की सुरक्षा के लिए बैरिकेडिंग की गई थी उसको तोड़ दिया और पुलिस फोर्स पर चप्पलों, जूतों और पत्थरों से पुलिस फोर्स पर हमला किया। और मेरे पति को भी जो ड्यूटी के दौरान हेलमेट दिया जाता है, उनका हेलमेट भी पूरी तरह से टूट गया था। और यदि कोई पत्थर का टुकड़ा हेलमेट टूटने के बाद उनके सर पर लगता तो शायद वो आज इस दुनिया में नहीं रहते। ये सोचकर और ये उनके बताए जाने पर मैं इतनी ज्यादा मतलब मेरी रूह कांप गई थी कि इसके बाद मेरा और मेरे परिवार का क्या होता। मैं अपनी संसद में बैठे हुए जो मेरे चुने हुए प्रतिनिधि हैं, मैं उनसे निवेदन करना चाहती हूँ कि हमारे जो पुलिसकर्मी हैं और उनके जो परिवार हैं उनके बारे में भी संसद में कुछ मतलब उनके राइट के बारे में या उनकी ड्यूटी पे जो उन पर हमले होते हैं उनके बारे में संज्ञान लिया जाए। मेरे प्रतिनिधि इस चीज के लिए जो संसद में चुने हुए हैं वो संज्ञान लें और उनके मुद्दे भी उठाया जाए, क्योंकि 20 तारीख के बाद से आज तक यही नैरेटिव चलाया जा रहा है कि जो छात्र थे, जो छात्रों का प्रोटेस्ट था उसको कि पुलिस के द्वारा बर्बरता से छात्रों को पीटा गया, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है। ये अलग एक प्रोटेस्ट का एक हिस्सा दिखाया जा रहा है, जबकि प्रोटेस्ट का दूसरा हिस्सा कुछ और ही है। और मैं अपने चुने हुए प्रतिनिधियों से यही निवेदन करना चाहती हूँ कि वो अपने जो संसद की सुरक्षा में पुलिसकर्मी लगे रहते हैं और उस संसद की जो एक हमारे देश का सम्मान है, मेरे देश का सम्मान है, उसकी सुरक्षा में जो पुलिसकर्मी हर समय और देश की आंतरिक सुरक्षा में जो पुलिसकर्मी हर समय लगे रहते हैं, उनके बारे में भी संसद में कुछ मुद्दे उठाए जाएं। थैंक यू सीमा। हाँ, लक्ष्य आप बताएंगे कुछ?
हेलो, मेरा नाम लक्ष्य सिंह बिष्ट है। मेरे पापा ACP है, जिन्होंने अपने पूरे करियर में 4 गारंटी हासिल करे हैं। मेरे ग्रैंडफादर BSF में थे। उन्होंने 1971 की जंग में लड़ाई करी थी। मेरे पापा भी जंतर मंतर के फ्रंट लाइन से उनकी ड्यूटी लगी थी प्रोटेस्ट में। एंड ऑन 25 मई एट 2 PM मुझे पता चला कि मेरे फादर को उनके हेड पे इंजरी आ रखी है उनके फ्रेंड के थ्रू। जब मैंने फोटो देखी तो उनके हेड को शेव कर रखा था और उनके हेड पे लाइक स्टिचेस लग रहे थे 4। उसको देख के आई वॉज लाइक रियली फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड मैं बहुत डरा हुआ था। जब मेरे पापा घर आए तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि जो स्टूडेंट्स की जो प्रोटेस्ट है उसमें स्टूडेंट्स नहीं है, उसमें राउडीज है, उसमें एग्रेसर्स हैं जो लाइक इस अपॉर्चुनिटी का यूज़ कर रहे हैं जस्ट टू क्रिएट केओस। एंड ऑन 25 में अनप्रोवोक्ड उन्होंने मेरे पापा और उनकी टीम के ऊपर पेल्टिंग स्टार्ट कर दी। उस टाइम मेरे पापा बिल्कुल भी प्रिपेयर नहीं थे, वो अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को ब्रीफ कर रहे थे। एंड व्हेन द पेल्टिंग स्टार्टेड मेरे पापा अपने सीनियर ऑफिसर्स को लाइक एक सेफ प्लेस में सिक्यूर करने चले गए, बट एक स्टोन उनके हेड पे हिट कर गया एंड उनका सर फट गया और उन्हें इंजरी हो गई।
कुंजन, आप कुछ और शेयर करना चाहेंगे? मुझे ये बोलना था कि पुलिस वाले भी समाज का हिस्सा है। जिस पार्लियामेंट में लोग पॉलिटिशियंस और जिस पार्लियामेंट में पॉलिटिशियंस पुलिस वालों को क्रिमिनल बोल रहे हैं, उसी पार्लियामेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए मेरे पापा ने इतनी सारी सीरियस इंजरीज ली हैं। और मुझे यही बोलना था कि आई एम अ प्राउड डॉटर ऑफ अ मैरिन कमांडो एंड अ पुलिस ऑफिसर जिन्होंने स्टूडेंट प्रोटेस्ट के नाम पर इकट्ठा हुए क्रिमिनल्स की भीड़ के बीच में सिंसेरिटी से ड्यूटी निभाई है। उन्होंने लिंच होने के बाद भी अभी तक स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में कुछ भी बुरा या फिर नेगेटिव नहीं बोला है। उन्हें बस अपनी ड्यूटी परफॉर्म करते टाइम चोट लगी है। थैंक यू। लक्ष्य, आप कंटिन्यू करना चाहेंगे?
मैं जब भी ऑनलाइन जाता हूँ एंड जब भी मेरे फ्रेंड्स मुझे रील्स भेजते हैं एंड ट्विटर पे लिंक्स भेजते हैं कि उसमें पुलिस के खिलाफ बहुत ज़्यादा लाइक डेडिकेटेड टर्म से बात करी जाती है, लाइक उनके एकदम खिलाफ होते हैं, हमारी साइड की कोई बात भी नहीं करता। मेरे पापा बोलते हैं कि इस पर मुझे ध्यान नहीं देना चाहिए बिकॉज ये बस दोनों साइड को ट्रिगर करने के लिए, ये वन साइड मीडिया है एंड ये बस केओस क्रिएट करने के लिए। पर जब मेरे फादर के साथ ये हुआ आई वॉज रियली डिसअपॉइंटेड एंड फ्रस्ट्रेटेड। और एंड पार्लियामेंट में भी इसके बारे में कुछ बात नहीं हो रही, लाइक पुलिस वालों का क्या, जिनको जो इंजर उनका क्या। एंड फिर मुझे पता चला कि जो एग्रेसर्स थे उन्होंने पुलिस के खिलाफ ही एप्लीकेशन डाल दी कि उनके साथ अनजस्ट हुआ है। मैंने और बहुत सारी फैमिलीज ने पुलिस की, उन्होंने भी मिलकर प्ली डाली कि हमारे भी राइट्स हैं। ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट खुद कहता है कि एवरीवन इज इक्वल इन फ्रंट ऑफ लॉ एंड एवरीवन हैज राइट टू लाइफ। मेरे फादर यहाँ पे नहीं है बिकॉज ड्यू टू हिज रूल्स ऑफ ड्यूटी, और बट हम यहाँ पे टू रिप्रेजेंट द फैमिलीज जिनके स्पाउस है, जिनके फादर इंजर हुए। जंतर मंतर में जो प्रोटेस्ट था वो स्टूडेंट प्रोटेस्ट था, पर उसमें बस स्टूडेंट्स नहीं थे, उसमें राउडीज थे, उसमें गुंडे थे जो इस अपॉर्चुनिटी का यूज करे थे टू क्रिएट केओस और पुलिस वालों को इंजर करने के लिए, उन्हें हर्ट करने के लिए। मैं एक स्टूडेंट हूँ और मुझे पता है कि मेरे पापा जो एक पुलिस ऑफिसर है वो किसी ऐसे स्टूडेंट को हर्ट नहीं करेंगे, वो एक स्टूडेंट की केयर करेंगे। एंड माय फादर डिडंट डिजर्व दिस। थैंक यू।
You're Viewers, so those were the kins of Delhi police cops who were injured during the CJP violence, giving out details how there were multiple instances of unprovoked violence, and also asking our parliamentarians to take up this issue of the violence, the targeted attacks which took place against police officials, the videos of which we have been flagging on Republic TV since July 20th. So the family also echoing at the same line, saying that these were unprovoked attacks, they were anti-social elements, they were criminals who were part of this mob, and they attacked these police officials in unprovoked manner. They also talked about that how this one-sided narrative by several groups now being pushed about alleged police brutality. And this is what the family flagged in their press conference while narrating, in fact, the harrowing experiences, the trauma that they had to go through when their family members were injured during this senseless violence by CJP. Now, they also, in fact, demanded that the parliament, which is currently in session, the monsoon session, must take up this issue of violence against the police officials and must also debate this on the floor of the House. So that was the demand, in fact, raised. Let's go back to the families who are currently speaking.
और उसको जो बदनाम करने की कोशिश की है और संसद की जो गरिमा को तार-तार करने की कोशिश की है, उनको जो शरारती तत्वों को मतलब उन्हें उनके किए की सजा दी जाए और उन्हें बख्शा ना जाए, और जो छात्र हैं उन्हें उनके रिकॉर्ड्स देकर छोड़ दिया जाए। मैम, अब आप क्या डिमांड कर रहे हैं? जी नहीं, 13 FIR में वापस होने के बारे में क्या कहेंगे? मैम, आपको लग रहा है एक साइड की स्टोरी दिखाई जा रही है, नैरेटिव बनाया जा रहा है, के बारे में कोई बात नहीं उठाई जा रही है।
All right, so you just heard another family member who was talking about that how this issue must be taken up by the parliament, and they continue to seek justice with the kind of violence that we saw against these Delhi police officials. We have seen visuals coming to light where there were attempts by the unruly mob to lynch these Delhi police officials, RAF personnel who were deployed there to in fact protect the Indian parliament. They were out there performing their duty, and in the line of their duty, they were attacked by these anti-social elements, by these criminals who had taken over the student protest, and now the families claiming that seeking justice, in fact, while also demanding that the parliament must take up this issue. Let's take a listen to the more reactions we're getting in.
मैं नाम नहीं शेयर करना चाहूँगी।
किस रैंक पे है?
वो ACP हैं दिल्ली पुलिस में।
क्या हुआ था उस दिन? आपको कब पता चला कि उनको इंजरीज लगी?
जब रात को 1:30-2 बजे वो मेरे घर वापस आए।
रात को 1:30-2 बजे। और क्या बताया उन्होंने? क्या बताया?
नहीं, थैंक यू।
क्या बताया? क्या हुआ था उस दिन जब सारे किस तरीके से परेशानी हो रही है?
Right, in fact, viewers, so those are the reactions that are coming in from the families of these injured cops. Now, remember, over 118 police officials were injured in this senseless violence which broke out on the streets of central Delhi on July 20th. And remember, these protesters had reached very close to the Indian Parliament. They tried to storm. They were breaking barricades, breaching all the security protocols which have been put in place, vandalizing the CCTV cameras installed in central Delhi, attacking police officials, using bricks, stones to assault them. And this is all unfolded in central Delhi, and several policemen, over 118, were injured in this violence. And now the families are speaking out. They are narrating their experiences, the trauma that they went through, while also demanding justice for these police officials, and also flagging that there is this one-sided narrative of police brutality, this anti-uniform narrative that's being pushed by a certain group. And this is what the family flagged in their press conference just a while ago, while demanding that the Parliament of India, because they were out there in their duty to protect Indian Parliament, that same Parliament must debate the issue of violence, the targeted attacks against police officials as well. So those are the demands put forward by them, as they also narrated multiple instances of unprovoked violence which took place on July 20th in central Delhi. And several members, in fact, speaking about their harrowing experience, the kind of calls they had to make, how they were informed that their family members are in fact in hospital having been injured. So the kind of experiences, viewers, they just listed out, completely harrowing to hear even. And now we understand that they're claiming that justice must be given to them and the parliament must also debate this issue. In fact, let's try and connect with my colleague Saurav, who was there at the press conference, getting us more details on this. All right, Saurav, coming across to you. Now we understand that, we have seen what Republic has also been flagging, this one kind of narrative, this anti-uniform, anti-police narrative being pushed by one side. And today, when the families spoke the truth, they listed the kind of experiences that they went through. This is what Republic has also been talking about since July 20th. These were unprovoked attacks, criminals, anti-social elements. They took over the student protest and then they assaulted these police officials. And this is what the families also spoke about today.
Yes, Ishita, you exactly rightly mentioned that now the families of the police officials who got injured on July 20th during the CJP violent protest in the national capital, the families have clarified that these protests were not staged by the students and the violence was done by the miscreants and the anti-social elements which have joined that protest on that very day. And these anti-social elements attacked several of the police officials. They even started stone pelting. They attacked police officials with the shoes and the other sharp objects, due to which several of the police officials also sustained severe injuries after being caught up in the middle of that violent protest. And now today the families have shared their horrific tale of that day when they got to know that their family member who was present at the protest to maintain the law and order situation, he got severely injured, and they all were undergoing treatment at some or other hospital situated in the national capital, including the LNJP and RML hospital. And they have also told that a daughter of SI also told that her father was seriously injured and he got head injury and he sustained 4 stitches on his head. And after when her father came home, she opened the social media and his father was portrayed like a criminal on social media. And she also said that the parliamentarians who are calling her father a criminal and police and who are putting doubts on the police officials and their duties, the police officials were present on 20th July to save that very parliament situated in the national capital, and that is why these police officials sustained injuries, and the families of the police officials have also appealed to the parliament to take necessary steps and action so that such kind of incidents do not repeat themselves in the future again, Ishita.
Right, in fact, and this is what Republic has also been fighting against, the one-sided narrative being pushed across social media of alleged police brutality. Thanks, Saurav, for joining us and listing out the kind of experiences that the families of these injured cops shared a while ago. And now we are shifting focus to what is happening inside Parliament as monsoon session is still underway. Now we're getting these visuals coming to life from inside the Parliament complex where the opposition is staging a protest. They're continuously raising slogans and demanding that Home Minister Amit Shah come to the House and provide an answer. So essentially, this is what the families were also in fact talking about, and this is the issue that the opposition continues to raise of alleged police brutality. They continue to demand answers from Home Minister Amit Shah, asking who gave the orders for the lathi charge, who gave the orders for the pellet guns to be used. Now remember, there is no verified claim that has come out about the use of pellet guns against these protesters. My colleague Ishan also joins us. Ishan, now you have been covering this parliamentary proceedings, and we understand before the session commences today, we are looking at this opposition holding protest and continue to demand that Home Minister comes out and speaks on the floor of the House about who gave the orders for lathi charge, for the use of pellet guns.
Absolutely. The opposition has been demanding clearly that there be an investigation into the use of irregular force by the RAF and Delhi police, wherein they allege that Delhi police and RAF have used pellet guns and various other forms that are irregular in protest, and the use of excessive force was also condemned by the opposition. But however, they have not yet provided any concrete evidence as to the use of these weapons, and they haven't even also provided any verifiable footage or visuals that can ascertain these claims. Pellet gun use is deemed to be a human rights violation by the human rights organizations. However, no such incident that has come forward in the current Delhi current protest by CJP during the 20th of August, which the Parliament has been, with the opposition has been claiming. Now this entire proceeding and this entire opposition facade that has been created to malign the image of Delhi police and other security officials that were posted there, multiple of them have been injured, over 100 of them have been injured.
Right.
And all of this is being happening, and back to studio.
Right, so it looks like that the opposition continues to rake up several issues to delay, proceedings in Parliament. It's cut across to Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju speaking at the moment.
इसी कारण से किया है. वैसे तो शिक्षा को लेकर के सब सीरियस है और एग्ज़ाम पेपर लीक्स को लेकर के तो बहुत ही सीरियस है सब लोग. अभी आज तो फ्राइडे है. आज वैसे तो बिल तो लिस्टेड है, प्राइवेट मेंबर है. हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि अभी पार्लियामेंट हाउस को अच्छा से चलने में सब सहयोग करें, और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी धन्यवाद दिया है सब एमपीज़ को कि एग्ज़ाम पेपर लीक्स को लेकर के जो बिल पारित किया उसमें सहयोग दिया है और पारित किया है. अब इसको जितना जल्दी हो सके लागू करके फिर बच्चों का भविष्य को ठीक करना है. और कई इम्पोर्टेंट बिल्स तो लिस्टेड है, आज भी इम्पोर्टेंट बिल लिस्टेड है. मैं अपील करता हूँ अपोजिशन पार्टी लोगों को कि अपना मुद्दा जो उठाना है वो उठा सकते हैं, लेकिन बिल पास करने में और क्वेश्चन आवर इम्पोर्टेंट बिजनेस को डिस्टर्ब नहीं करने से ये उनके लिए भी अच्छा है, सबके लिए अच्छा है.
Coming in from the government side, appealing to the opposition to continue cooperating and to have a productive debate in the Parliament. And with that, viewers, we're slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Coming up on the other side, India's medal tally in the Commonwealth Games now rises to 17. Lovepreet Singh led the medal charge by winning silver in men's 110 kilogram weightlifting event, while Seema Kalirama claims bronze.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.